Up and live. All right. Welcome to the start of a brand new campaign. We've already done a couple of meetings of character building, as well as an official session 0. Everybody at my table we're old friends, and most of us know each other. And as we covered in the session 0, there wasn't a whole lot for us to talk about as far as what may trigger or make people uncomfortable. But we have a standing rule that if we ever creep into an area that makes somebody at the table uncomfortable, they can stop gameplay and say, hey, this is fucking with me. I'm being triggered, whatever you want to call it. And we'll navigate around it as you do. So welcome. We are turning down the volume on our phones. We're going to do that right now. We're turning down the volume on the phone. We're starting a brand new campaign, as I said, and we are playing Mutants and Masterminds 3rd edition, which is, in my opinion, the best version of the game that's been released so far. None of us are experts. We're all learning this system together as we play, as we a lot of times do with the Azimuth Busters crew. So if you spot a rule that was called wrong, done wrong, misinterpreted, butchered, whatever the fuck the case may be, we'd love your feedback, either in the form of chats, posts, anonymous letters. Please, no letter bombs, nothing like that, But besides that, so yeah, let us know, interact. We're likely to talk to you, probably not during game. None of us are going to have our head in a chat window while we're playing, because we're going to be playing, but certainly afterwards. So if you got something to say,
I'll have one eyeball on it, but I'm just easily distracted. So sure. Don't count on it.
And I want your damn focus on our game, and certainly not a chat room. So here we are, Mutants and Masterminds 3rd edition. I decided that I always wanted to play the Emerald City Adventure Path. Emerald City is one of the main setting cities that was created by Green Ronin for the system. Freedom City is their East Coast, basically New York equivalent, where all the action happens. And Emerald City is the West Coast city, located between Portland and Seattle, somewhere in the middle. We're definitely in the Pacific Northwest, but we're kind of nestled between them. And they don't really say whether it's Oregon or Washington, come to think of it.
Washington.
I don't think it's ever been committed. So, we'll just leave that open for interpretation.
Mark, your video is frozen.
Mark's video is frozen. That is correct.
If you look on the map,
yeah,
along the Columbia River, right at the end, where it splits between Oregon and Washington, the geography looks nearly identical to Emerald City.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
So what state would that put it in? Right on the border.
Right on the border.
That'd be like Vancouver. Like on one side of the bridge, you're in Oregon, and you go on the other side of the bridge, you're in Washington. All right. Well, fine. But I don't think that's important, because they don't really stress on it. But we are in the Pacific Northwest. This is in Emerald City. If you know anything about Emerald City, then I don't need to tell you about the setting. I decided that we were going to play the Emerald City Knights Adventure Path, which is a 6-part adventure path, and also has a 7th prologue part, which we're going to start today, which is called the Silver Storm. What else? I can't think of anything else. Anybody else got anything else to say?
Let's go.
Before we get it on.
I've never used Hero Lab, so this is going to be clunky for me for probably the first second.
Assist,
Yep.
when needed.
Happy to say that Hero Lab Classic still supports Mutants and Masterminds 3rd edition, and we are all of us old school Hero Lab users. Rob, myself, Yoel, we've been using Hero Lab for years and years, and won't make the change to the online service, because we have thousands of dollars invested, and we'd like to keep it that way. So Hero
Hey, Mike,
Lab,
before you start, did you intentionally change the camera? Because all we can see is your sexy self, and I think Yoel's shoulder.
Yeah, I did intentionally do that.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah, for starters. So as I said, we're playing the Emerald City Knights Adventure Path and Prologue. And we have already built our characters. I think what we should probably do, because there's been certainly a bunch of changes up to this point. There's been some tweaks and some complete 180 changes that have happened. So I think what I'd like to do before we set the stage and open the first scene, I'd like everybody to kind of go around. I'll put the camera back so you can see everybody, because I actually have the pleasure of having a couple of players in the room with me, which is nice. Yoel and Sarah are here, and we have Mark, Rob, and Brendan online in various parts. So I have little cards for all of your characters. And what I was thinking is I would hit you all up, and you can do, not looking for a full-blown explanation. Basically, tell us who you are, what you're doing in Emerald City, if you're already an altered being or not, and at the time we're opening up in the Yellow Brick Row, which is an infamous marketplace / open air mall that runs for several blocks, and the streets are painted yellow for the whole yellow brick effect. So that's where we're starting. So if you'd also tell us why you're at Yellow Brick Road currently, that would be helpful as well. Let's start with Steve, who's being played by Brandon.
Yeah. So Steve is already an altered human, but he's been living a life that is kept that completely under wraps. Nobody knows anything about him or any superpowers. He is an attorney, and he runs a criminal defense. It's a private practice. Normally he's in criminal defense, but he kind of branches out into whatever seems to tickle his fancy.
Excellent. And why are you in Yellow Brick Road today?
I'm in Yellow Brick Road today because I'm meeting an informant, and so I'm there hoping that this actually comes to be, and I get the contact with the informant so that I can win my most recent case.
Gotcha. Okay. And just to take a step back, it is presumed this adventure path takes place in the current timeline. I believe it was written in 2015, but it is nothing specific about it. Doesn't tell me that it's happening right now. The only difference that I've seen is, according to the lore of Mutants and Masterminds 3rd edition and their setting, the World Trade Center attack never happened. It was thwarted by superheroes. So the tower was never brought down. The 2 twin towers were never brought down, and that didn't happen. That's the only significant, like, real world kind of historic change that I've seen in the text. And I'll let you guys know as I find them, or if other ones come up, because for me, that's a real good anchor point to kind of associate the world to reality, right? It's kind of locks it in for me. So thank you, Brandon. Steve the lawyer. All right. Jordan, played by Mark.
So Jordan is your kind of maybe not atypical, typical. I don't know what the right word is. He's an angry college kid, 19-year-old college kid.
Typical. That's right.
Thinks he knows everything, kind of, who I was when I was 19.
On the path of being an overeducated shithead. Right.
With but he's got better hair. So I can never come up with like original ideas. So I like base all my characters on other people's characters. So there's this, it's actually a Disney cartoon called Gravity Falls. And there's this great character in it called Robbie Valentino. And his parents are like the morticians of the town. And they're like these upbeat parents. And he's like this angry kid who like knows everything. And he's like, he's kind of not really bright, and he kind of knows he's not really bright, and it's a funny character, and I can't remember the voice actor that does him, but the guy's genius, and it's the same. The voice actor for the character in the cartoon is the guy that's the like the glasses kind of blonde haired guy that's in the Deadpool movies, and I just don't know the actor's name. But he's hilarious, and the guy's got a great voice, and so that's my character's based on that. So if you know who Robbie V is, Robbie Valentino, that's kind of this just angry, college kid, works at a coffee shop, chasing girls, going to school. Hasn't really figured out the rest of his life yet.
You're in Yellow Brick Road because you work in a coffee shop.
Because I work in a coffie shop, going to college. I am not powered at all at this point.
Right. You're a normal person.
Correct.
Little smart ass, but a normal person.
Right.
All right. Phyllis, played by Sarah.
So Phyllis, first I want to just throw a disclaimer in there. I am not Native. I'm not First Nations. I'm not attempting to retell any stories of Native people. Just want to throw that out there. Yep, just playing a game.
Gotcha.
So Phyllis Crowfeather is a 30-year-old woman who she's half Native First Nations and she is half kind of Midwestern. As you tell, her name is Phyllis, which is a pretty Midwestern name. She kind of straddles both worlds, but she's actually right now a laid off tech worker, recently divorced, going through a shitty time, and she is spending her unemployment check at the coffee shop. She is powered. She is a shapeshifter, kind of discovering her Native ancestry and the legends of the skinwalker, the legends of the shapeshifter. She has dreams that she has taken on these shape-shifting abilities, and she has tattoos that, well, she was already into tattoos, totally goth, totally front 242, Rocky Horror Picture Show attendee in her teens. This is a whole loosely based upon everybody I've ever known. Kind of a bad attitude. Person, right? Except she's a shapeshifter, and she currently is mastering the ability to shapeshifter into a bear. That is her first kind of iteration of this shapeshifting that she's actually been able to kind of harness. I'm trying to think what else. She has a kind of a shitty attitude. She's a smartass. But she's got some pretty good technical skill, and I'm sure more will come to me later.
Okay.
So just a couple of quick comments there, if I can. One, I actually know who Front 242 is, so that's awesome. I understood that reference. And two, I had to call you out because when we met in our last thing, you're like, oh, I'm not good at character creation. I read your thing. It's like you blew my mind with your character creation. What are you giving me? It's a brilliant character. I stole mine from a cartoon. What are you talking about?
Well, my
killing me over here.
Was Odorous Urungus from Guar, and I had absolutely no... You know what I mean?
Everyone loved Odorous.
Yeah, Odorous was fantastic.
Yeah, man.
Any kind of motivation, or it's like, I come to kill things. I'm the god of the universe. There's no great like backstory. So it's getting better. I'm getting better at this. Thank you.
All right, moving on to Jose, being played by Robert.
And I am Jose, who is a Mexican gentleman in his late 20s. He was a gang member and then went on the run from the cartel. He's based on the powerhouse archetype in the player's book. So he's all about strength, kind of a small Hulk. His face has been tragically disfigured. Not quite as bad as Two-Face from Batman, but worse than the Hound in Game of Thrones. He is somebody who you will you'll be sick if you see his whole face. You don't usually do that. He wears a mask like a Mexican wrestler, the luchador. And so that is the luchador. Yes. So that is essentially his heroic ID. And otherwise, he's here on Yellow Brick Road because that's where his taco truck is, and he's in the back making people's food. He's got his mask on, though, so people will still buy.
And the taco truck is branded like your mask. It's all part of the whole thing. He cooks.
Yeah. That's part of the getup. It's
like
my shtick.
luchador tacos.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. All right. And last but not least, Miyu.
Miyu. That's me.
Yeah. Played by Yoel.
Miyu Shirohiru is a 19-year-old Japanese girl. She currently goes to ECU for fashion design, cosmetics, and entertainment studies. She has a YouTube channel where she talks about all those things, and also just kind of generally does life journaling because she's a bit full of herself in some ways, and in other ways is just really looking to get approval from her peer group. She does have some powers, but they are fairly minor prior to the storm, when shit gets real. Her background is interesting, but is a government secret, so I won't go into that. She currently works part-time at the cafe that's on the Yellow Brick Row. Toto's, I believe we decided it was called, for thematic accuracy.
Is that what we call it?
I
know that was one of the suggestions.
Yeah, and it's I think the same cafe that Mark's character is working at, so we're familiar with each other.
Right.
Jordan, you said. And I think that pretty much sums up the overview.
Okay. All right. So what you don't know is, and what my players do know, is that we've already talked about the prologue being basically an origin event. So for most of them, it is going to be the thing that suddenly and instantaneously makes you a super. So I want to remind you of this fact, so you aren't just jumping into veteran tights and capes like dun dun dun. Like there needs to be that kind of honest kind of figuring your own shit out as well. For those of you who are already altered, you know, you're dealing with a completely different kind of thing, but just something that we've already established. Emerald City is the type of place where there are not superheroes running around. Mm-hmm. It is a quiet, kind of a sleepy tech boom town where when there are altered humans here and they're public about it, they're usually bad guys, show up quickly, get squashed by out-of-town talent who then go away, right? There really isn't a super or super villain or superhero thing that happens here. So for those of you who are already altered, it may have been the reason why you were drawn here, because it's easier to be on the down low, and it might even give you just a little bit of an edge in life because there aren't fucking Cape Crusaders flying around and running around everywhere, right? So, all right. We've referred to Yellow Brick Row, and I will read the little segment about that, and then we'll move on to opening scene. Nothing marks Emerald City newcomers more than making a Munchkin joke in public. They think it's clever, but no longtime residents, and in truth, they're just being punchably obvious and annoying. It's all an understandable offshoot of the city's 70-year-long love-hate relationship with the Wizard of Oz. There are many businesses and organizations that work overtime to avoid any association with the classic stories and legendary film, while others embrace the association wholeheartedly. Those who revel in the city's Elfbank bomb connection with the enthusiasm of flying monkeys successfully lobbied to have an open-air walking mall in the downtown shopping district dubbed the Yellow Brick Row. There the street is indeed bricked, just as advertised, duly painted yellow every year on the official birthday of Emerald City, August the 27th. All right, so that is our starting point. I'm going to share screen with a little bit of Mapski so you get an idea. We're not going to be heavily locked down to it, especially since it's a loose kind of a map. But I do want to show you guys what we're talking about. Can you see that?
Yeah.
And so this is the section that is Yellow Brick Road. It is the main downtown area. And if you look where there's the two straight sections that run north-south here and here, and then this kind of angle across here, I am imagining that Toto's Coffee Shop is somewhere on this angle.
Okay.
This is also in the same area where Luchador Tacos parks their truck on the regular. Mm-hmm. You know, I see this as being a dead end side cul-de-sac where the buildings create the cul-de-sac, where there's a block where the cars can't go through any farther. That's the sweet spot where he parks his truck. You've got a coffee shop on one side, and then we talked about like a used bookstore on the other. So you've got like a that kind of situation.
Dorothy's Books right across from Toto's Cafe.
Right, exactly. There is a tram that runs through the downtown area, but it does not run along Yellow Brick Road because Yellow Brick Road was left completely pristine with the outdoor. Everybody walks that. So this line that we're talking about here is cars are not allowed there. They have to drive on the perimeter, and it also makes this section impassable from side to side. So there's a couple of bridges. There's a couple spots, and there's also a couple tunnels, which will allow people to continue on. Some of these are bridges, some of these are tunnels cutting across here. But Yellow Brick Road is always preserved. I think they said in the description they started making like in Vegas, where they have those walkways above the traffic.
Yeah.
So like it comes up and over just in those sections and allows pedestrian bridges, exactly. So that's the area that we're starting in. The Atlas Mall is like, you know, one of these super malls that still exist. One of these, you know, probably runs a square mile. What are we looking at here? What's the scale? That's 1,000 feet. So yeah, the mall's about a mile across.
Half a mile and half a mile.
Is it? I see it as being like 1, 2, and a little bit more.
3,500 feet in a mile. Am I right?
5,200.
Yeah.
5,200.
So,
Oh God,
you know,
I'm way off.
3/4 of a mile. It's a big fucking place. It's the kind of place where people are walking laps for their exercise.
Across and 1,000 feet down.
Yeah, it's pretty big. So that is where we're starting. That is the area called Yellow Brick Road. That's the map they provided, and again, it's got some detail, but at the same time leaves a lot of things kind of undefined, like streets and specific things like that. So we've all placed you in this area. You're all in basically the same proximity. I think some of your characters have been established as knowing each other already, and some of you, that's not the case. But you are all in very close proximity to each other when our scene opens. It is a beautiful and pleasant spring day. The weather is perfect. There isn't a cloud in the sky. There's a good energy to the city. Everybody's smiling. Like, you know, it's not a period where people are weighing heavily. The economy is flourishing. People have money in their pockets, and they're you know, at the best shopping experience that you can have in the whole city. So, you know, people are having a very good time, and it sounds like most of you are here fairly on the regular anyway, that you're not making special considerations or special plans to come here. This is kind of your stomping grounds. But you see a lot of people who come and go. You know, people will come from Northtown, which is many, many miles and bridges away. They'll come here to shop because, you know, it's just the best place for it. There's a ferry terminal that'll take you right to the cannery, and then it's a short walk to Yellow Brick Road from the cannery, and that is like the tourist spot, right? So there is a fringe amount of crime that surrounds Yellow Brick Road, but not actually on it itself, because, you know, the city has provided private security, which are basically, you know, like rental cops. They're fully armed individuals. So there's very little crime right in Yellow Brick Road, which is nice. You know, the stores aren't being pressured with crime at all, but the surrounding area, as it's getting pushed and displaced, the surrounding area, you know, has its own issues, right? So you're all enjoying your afternoon. Business is good.
Busy.
People are in good spirits. You're either, you know, vending or you're buying. You're all here having a fairly decent afternoon.
That's the chair. Sorry, that's the chair.
You might want to swivel that foot on the grate.
When there is a sudden moment, or maybe even only a half moment of silence, where everything around you gets gets a lot quiet, but it happens very quickly. Whereas you're about to like look around to see if other people are experiencing the same thing. And that quiet is followed by a loud, heart-stopping explosion. It is several blocks away in the direction of Atlas Mall. There is a accompanying shock strike that you feel that hits you without warning. So silence, huge explosion, and then immediately, no matter where you are, you're hit by this shock wave. Within moments, a strange cloud of silvery mist blankets the surrounding area. Panic and flight are about to take hold. The cloud begins to swirl without any evident prompting from the wind. It whips itself into a cyclonic mass, discharging what appears to be bolts of bluish lightning, both within itself and outwards around its immediate vicinity. Both blast and bolts subside and begin to dissipate before anyone, yourselves included, can arrive on the scene, leaving the dead and injured as the most immediate concern. The fleeing, panicked crowd are hopelessly jammed into roads, making you all the only first responders available for the critically injured now. The first thing you notice after this silver cloud is not like a weather thing. It's not like a gas thing. It's like the closest thing it resembles is when you see millions of birds flocking together and they do that chaotic, whippy kind of staying together, but still separating and being all over the place. It's like that, except the birds are, powder. They're microscopic, right? But it's still whipping and moving like that. Everyone is immediately covered in it. There's no way it can be avoided, whether you're in or out of buildings. And that initial thwomp is followed by rain of glass, a perpetual rain of glass, as all the high rises, all the skyscrapers, they've lost all their glass up to 30, 40, 50 stories up from the shockwave, and now it's raining down on the city. So you've got casualties everywhere. Right where you are, most of the people who are injured or in harm's way are because the shockwave hit the old buildings, because you're kind of in an older section. You're kind of in the cute Chokchi kind of, Berkeley-esque section where the buildings weren't well made for that kind of stuff. And buildings have been blown out and have fallen on people, have fallen on cars, power poles, old telephone lines that have been there for 50, 80 years, whatever, that are overloaded. Those have come down. So there's power lines on the streets. Cars are, solid through. Like anybody who was on the road when this happened, they immediately started crashing or trying to get somewhere else. So all of those exits or all of those accidents also created clog points. And as you were looking around, it does not seem isolated to you. It doesn't seem like this thing is over us. This thing seems to be over everything. It seems to be really, really big. And you can hear this raining of glass really far away as it's echoing blocks and blocks and blocks away. All you're hearing is people screaming and glass showering down on.
I have to share something with you.
What's that?
In the summer of 1993, I was nearby where a 5 by 10 foot pane of glass fell from the 23rd story of the Toronto Dominion Center into the concrete courtyard below.
Oh God, it just popped out.
No, well, this is a long story, but
Construction
anyway,
crew dropped it.
a lawyer. This is at the end of the first week of articles when all the law students are around the big firms. A lawyer at the firm ran up and threw himself at the glass,
Oh my God.
expecting to bounce off, which is what should have happened. And indeed, what had happened in the 7 previous years that he had pulled this stunt to freak out all the new wannabe lawyers there at the firm.
I did too. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
So this happened. It's a real event.
Oh my
And so what happened was part of the frame gave way and the lawyer and the glass went out the window. I was leaving, so I wasn't, because I
Wow.
worked directly across the street. I'd left and I'd walked towards the Union Station. I didn't see it happen, but I heard it happen. One pane of glass falling from the 23rd story was the loudest thing that I think that I have ever heard. And I have been on a battlefield where there are munitions, like we're talking large artillery pieces and tanks firing within a few hundred meters away, because I've been on maneuvers where I've seen that stuff. This was louder, and that
Wow.
was
Wow.
one
That's
pane of glass.
Yeah.
So,
So this is
I don't know how many panes this are, but holy
This is
crap!
everything.
well, it's
Wow.
miles and miles and miles of
Deafening.
all the planes, of all the
Deafening.
God.
planes. So I don't know that they're falling solid and smashing when they hit the ground, but the idea is I think they got blown out in place and now they're just raining down in glass. So it would be deafening. And of course, all you're hearing is the screams of people and the raining of glass coming down on top of everything.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go through with each one of you in no particular order, just as I've got my cards, just to hear how you're reacting. Now, if the Silver Storm, this is the Silver Storm, if the silver stuff, so here's what happens. It falls on you like powder. It itches all over. And since all the windows got blown out, it blew silver into all the buildings as well. So it was unavoidable whether you were inside or outside, because it literally blew all the windows out and went everywhere. It gets on your skin and it feels gritty like a powder at first. It begins to itch like bad, but it's everywhere. So what do? Itch everything? You can't. So you're just kind of like, what the fuck? Followed by a feeling of it feeling liquid, and you're like able to move it off of the surface of your skin much more like a liquid or a mercury would move than a dust would. And then the fourth and final stage is it stops being itchy at that point and starts getting a little nummy and cold at that stage. And the fourth and final stage is it absorbs into you.
Well, that's terrible.
And it's gone. So this silver is the catalyst for many of your powers. So the first I want to hear is how that manifests. Is there any way to look at you and see that you're going through a change? Does your skin turn blue? Do you grow fur? Do you start bamfing all over the place? Like, how describe your change and then how you plan to react to what you're seeing around you. Let's mix it up the cards and start with Jose.
So the stuff obviously must have blown through the side window of the truck where I was serving people, and I've blasted onto the top half of me at least. I don't have a change. I'm already affected by this strange drug that has made me what I am.
Yep.
I'm blown away by what I've seen, and all the cries and screams outside have got me concerned. I turn off the gas to the deep fryers, and I get out of the back of the truck and look around to try and see if there's somebody nearby immediately who needs help, or indeed what the hell has happened. I have no idea.
In your general vicinity, you are not where a lot of high rises are. They're like a block away, which means the glass isn't showering directly on top of you, but there are buildings falling over. There are sides of these old brick buildings that have caved in onto a 3-story brick building, has fallen about 2 blocks down, has fallen into the street and caught 2 cars that were turning right. They were turning right, and the building just went rah! And now you can see an ass of a car in the front of a car and a whole bunch of bricks in the middle. Why don't you make a presence or an awareness? Make an awareness check for me.
All right. How do I do that?
You roll a d20 and you add your awareness to it.
14. My awareness is 1, so 15.
A 15. Okay. So you're scanning, you're looking across there. All of the clientele of your taco truck managed to get up tight up against the truck, and the overhang protected them from having debris fall on them. So people are kind of huddled right around the overhang of your truck, but the truck took a serious hit in the front. It's completely disabled, and like the front end and the front tire and the driver's seat are gone. It just got snatched as a chunk came flying in. And it looks to you like it's part of a hydrant and a part of a connecting pipe that got, displaced and has landed on it. Fortunately, your cousin was not sitting in the driver's seat. Everybody was cooking and serving at the time. So they're trying to batten things down as you are, they're cleaning glass off the grill and they're trying to stop the grill from catching on fire. You've already turned off the gas. They're kind of doing that thing. As you step out the back, you look towards the bookstore, and the bookstore took a bad hit because it was mostly glass on the front. So all of that glass is gone. And what you see is there's the wood post that's the corner where the windows used to fit up to. And that post is bowing out from the story above it that has kind of crumbled and taken a damage. And there's two people like up against it trying to hold it in place. And you're watching them about to get crushed.
I'm going to run over and stop the building from collapsing and help them to get the hell out of there.
Okay, so you're going to try to save the guys from being crushed by the building. Steve.
I'm inside the coffee shop looking out. I see.
Yeah. Windows are all blown out. You went through the whole silver thing. You're looking around and see that everyone else was going through it as well.
Are there people that I know, like in my immediate area, that I have a long history of knowledge? Like, do I know these people, or are they just random strangers at this point?
I mean, if this is your spot, then you probably know the people that work here.
Okay, so I'm looking around to see who's injured and how I might be able to help. And I'm also kind of taking a minute to think about what I'm seeing, because this is, in my long life, this is the first time I've seen anything quite like this.
Right.
So I'm trying to understand what that is. If I see Jose running, I get tacos from him, multiple times a week. And so if I see him running to some emergent issue, then I probably go out to see what's going on there.
All right, make an awareness check for me.
17.
Okay, so there are plenty of wounded people here in the coffee shop, and most of their wounds are superficial. They got hit by broken glass as the glass blew out. Interesting thing that you notice with your high awareness is that there's a weird back pressure thing that happened, and you're a pretty smart guy, and you see that most of the glass blew out, not in.
So it's like a vacuum caused it.
Yeah, much more like that than a shock wave. You'd expect a blast wave to blow into the buildings and send the shrapnel patterns that way, and it was quite the opposite. So the people who were hurt here in the coffee shop, that's from like all the glassware and the countertops and
going out
displays blowing out and blowing at people. So most of the damage is superficial. There are a couple people, as you look around, that you see them go through the silver thing, and they're itching and they're scratching and they're freaking out. And after it absorbs into their skin, they drop.
It really, really calmly.
They drop dead.
Before they drop dead, while they're starting to scratch it really calmly, I say, you shouldn't scratch that. And then I walk and then I walk outside
Yeah.
to see, to take in that situation.
So you also see, you come out, the truck separates between the bookstore and the coffee shop. You come out to see that the truck is usually parked nose into the cul-de-sac, and it took a hit. The front of it, you can tell just by the way it's up in the air, it took a hit. People are huddled underneath this overhang section, and you can see Jose's cousins, sisters, aunts, whatever they are. You can see them scrambling about and like trying to take care of people. And one of them has a bunch of water bottles, a bunch of plastic water bottles, and she's coming out to like give people water because there's dust and it's just a mess, right? And you see Jose is in a full sprint across the side street heading towards Dorothy's books. You can't see what he's running at, but you see him running.
Okay, this is what I'd like to do. I would like to run up to him using super speed.
Okay.
Put my hand on his shoulder, and then make us run faster towards whatever he's running at.
So you're basically going to speed him up as well?
That's right.
Okay. Is that one power or multiple powers?
That is one power. It's a hyper. Let me see what it is. It is speed, but I also have the affect others rank on it.
Uh-huh.
So I can do it on myself, but I can also give it to somebody else, and we can both do it. So
You should be a football coach. It's like a pat in the bum.
that's right.
Okay. And your speed rank is what?
Speed rank with helping another is 10.
Speed rank is 10.
So he gets there.
That means you can move 4 miles in a turn.
Around. Yeah.
Okay.
4 miles in 6 seconds.
That's pretty fast.
I mean, so we don't use that whole speed, but I just felt like it looked like he needed to get where he was going quickly. And so I thought I could help.
Okay. So I need for you to make a intellect roll for me, please. Since you don't know what his destination is, you're figuring it out on the route at high speed. So this is for you to
30. Let's say I rolled a 19. I have a 12 intelligence, so 31.
Okay. So what you see is 2 people holding up a corner beam that is bowing out and breaking from instability above it. And your 31 tells you that there's no possible way to save the building. And they will be crushed if they remain there. And you figure Jose was probably running over to either save them or try to hold up the building or something. I don't know that you are aware of his abilities. So if you're not, if Jose has never revealed to you his abilities to you, then you probably are just assuming he's running over to help and or to try to save somebody.
He's just a big, strong guy, and we're running.
He's a big, strong guy.
So I think we're gonna
I think it's your
probably. I'm gonna kind of delay to see what he does.
Do you have a limitation on how many people you can share your speed with?
Thank you. That makes perfect
It's
sense.
like now you're not.
It wasn't clear in the rules.
That's what I was looking for.
It wasn't clear in the rules.
Yeah, which I'm gonna.
So I think for right now, until I get some clarity, I think we'll just limit it to one person.
0 is like normal. It's like baseline.
Because what I was going to say is,
I mean, we could improvise it and say that it just slows everything down. Instead of a 10, it splits it 3 ways, and then it's a super speed of 4, which is still
right. Well,
fast enough to
that's
move
where I
out
was
of the way.
going.
Yeah.
That's exactly where I was going. I was going to say that if your sharing your speed is a power level 10,
Does affects others
Um,
split things?
what?
You're talking about splitting effects with affects others? I think that just
So it says affects others. So the question is it affecting only a single person, or is it others plural?
well, look at the modification.
Because the call that I would make
So
is that
let's look
for
at the
every-
It does. I mean, my call would be potentially others, but I didn't
affects
want to presume
others
that.
is +0 or 1 cost per rank. This extra allows you to give someone else use of a personal effect. You must touch the subject as a standard action, and they have control over their use of the effect, although you can withdraw it when you wish as a free action. If you are unable to maintain the effect, it stops working, even if someone else is using it. Both you and your subjects, in plural, can use the effect
Subjects.
simultaneously.
Right.
So
that means I could.
anyone you want
What
to
page
tap,
is that, UL?
that
But
is
I think
page
the action is you
188.
share it with one, right?
The action is to share it with one person who you touch.
But that doesn't mean you couldn't share it with somebody else the next turn.
Correct.
That's
correct.
right. That's right.
Okay.
All right. So you're going to speed over to him in blinding speed, touch him, which turns his speed essentially into the same blinding speed. And both of you you'll basically appear from the outside viewer. You're moving so fast, you look like you teleport. There's a blur of color, and you're standing right next to the two guys.
Debris flies
Okay.
out from under your feet.
All right, fantastic. Phyllis. So Phyllis, you were having coffee in the coffee shop. You were in Toto's. The blast hit, and you were coming from the back where the restrooms were, back towards your coffee. And fortunately for you, you were in a hallway that had no glass.
Wonderful.
So when the glass blew, you watched it all you watched tabletops lift up. The tables themselves had like glass top on them. So they just lifted up and smashed and just hit everybody. Shit came off the ceilings. All the French presses came off the walls. All the glassware came off the walls. All that stuff just smashed and blew out the windows. You watch the windows blow out, and as you're stepping out, they basically pepper all the parked cars that are right there, and just like sandblast the paint off the parked cars immediately, just rip it apart. And the hit kind of made all the vehicles kind of do one of those. It didn't throw them. It wasn't that hard of a shockwave, but you are totally aware that the shockwave was sucking out, not blowing in like you'd expect. Because you heard the boom, maybe you were even the shitter when the boom went off. You come out immediately and you're like, what the fuck? And that's what you see.
Yeah.
So it looks like everybody who is wounded are enough to deal with themselves. People are like pulling glass out of themselves, and they're grabbing napkins, and employees are helping people up from behind. You probably know both of them. But being as workers, and they're both behind the counter. They were working when that shit hit, which was fortunate for you, because most of the glass and stuff went past you and over the top of you and peppered all of your patrons. So there are wounded here, but it's not like, oh fuck, I need to save someone right here. These people are all like, yeah, everybody's got little cuts and bruises and abrasions, but you also experience the silver shit.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're coming down, you got hit with it. You went through the itch thing. And as you're watching it happen to other people, about 20% of the people here drop dead. And it's not like, oh, they fall unconscious. It's pretty obvious. There's a bit of a kind of a seize and a shake. Eyes roll up in their head. Eyes are silver, not white. And they drop. And they just kind of curl up into a fetal position and immediately rig. So it's pretty obvious that the people who are dying around you, like you didn't get affected by it in the same way. If it's a catalyst for you, all of your powers are like feel insane right now. Feel absolutely insane. If it's a catalyst, if it's your origin, you feel like your body is on fire and you can't sit still. Like sitting still just hurts, and you got to like move, and and in some cases, depending upon what your powers are, it's seriously pushing you towards a change, a discharge, a use, a growth, something. Yeah, and you're feeling that instability where if you held it together before, you're losing that holding it together, and if you didn't have it to hold together before, here it comes. So it's feeling much like that. So. How does the change, was it a catalyst for you?
No, so I had already
started
okay.
It hit fast forward.
Exactly. It's like, oh, okay, this is like now uncontrollable.
Yeah.
People are looking at me a little frightened, more frightened than the people who are currently scratching themselves. Because now I'm looking like a half humanoid bear.
You're bearing up.
which I'm bearing up. Yeah, bearing myself to the world. Yeah.
It's hard to bear, but you're doing it anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
It's quite furry.
so
I
Yeah,
can't bear this any longer.
being the self-absorbed person that I am, I'm focusing on myself and
Sure.
just, I'm covered in hair.
And
This
you
is-
want to you're feeling that would be you're feeling like you don't want to be indoors.
Mhm.
Definitely don't want to be in
Claustrophobic,
here. Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
How big am I going to grow? I have no idea.
Right.
I'm running outside.
Okay.
I'm seeing the cars. I have some super strength at this point, and I don't know how to contain that.
Okay. All right, good. So finish your turn with an awareness roll.
10.
Okay. Excellent. Miu.
Shriek and hide under the counter. Yeah, this is loud and terribly frightening. And I'm like definitely duck and covering and just trying to wait out whatever the hell is happening.
Well, fortunately, most of the glass that was in here went. There was no repeat fall.
Yeah.
Outside, you can still see, because you remember after the silver cloud settles and it's no longer obscuring the sky anymore, it's back to being a beautiful spring day, except it's showering glass. So
Yikes.
there's literally prism
Don't want to
kind
go
of
down
waves
that, yeah.
in the sky as all this broken glass is kind of falling down and the little tiny bits are flittering in the sky, and most of it is fallen at this point.
Mhm.
And those who were not killed by the silver storm were killed. A lot were killed by the falling glass. Many casualties. But it went for so long. It literally rained glass for over a minute. That's a really long time. If you think about it, that's a
Mhm.
super crazy
Yeah.
long time. So initially the first people got pounded, and then everyone else was like, fuck this. And they ran back inside buildings. They went inside underground. They went in the subway, whatever. But there was a high number of casualties
Yeah.
from the secondary glass dropping. So
Yeah, I mean, for sure, like bravery is not a strength that Miu has.
Yeah.
So hiding under the counter until things are at least slightly less loud.
sure.
Which sounds like it takes about a minute.
Make an
happen.
awareness and a presence check for me.
Okay. Rolling underneath my computer. Okay. Awareness would be a 12,
Okay.
and presence would be a 5.
Okay.
Good rolls out the gate.
So in your close proximity, there are, you went through the whole silver thing that I
Yeah.
described as well, right?
Um,
And it probably has
it
got
would
you,
act-
it's got
it
you a
would
little bit on fire
get
too.
me on fire, and
Yeah.
it would definitely be throwing like shit out. There'd be, floating bath toys around me and stuff that shouldn't be there.
Okay.
Stuff gets wacky, and there are things that weren't there before that seem to be there, and sometimes they're not there, and it's all moving. There's a lot happening visually.
Okay. There's like a
And it would be pretty eclectic, like bath toys and keychain characters and like neon floating neon imagery that's disconnected from any physical object, and those
Just
sorts
kinda
of-
goes-
just sort of like floating around and knocking things over.
So in front of you, you see two people going through changes. One person right in front of you is taking a very bare kind of look to her, and you know who it is. You recognize.
I know Phyllis.
You know Phyllis, and you see Phyllis going through like a change, a slow kind of painful
Versification.
What's the movie, the wolf movie, the American in London,
American Werewolf in London.
Yeah.
Werewolf in London, like that
Yeah.
painful kind of transformation, like like it's not a good thing. You see that happening. But she hasn't dropped dead like a lot of people have. Behind the counter with you and Jordan is your manager. And your manager wasn't a person you ever particularly liked all that much. She was kind of a mansplaining toxic asshole. But but the job was good, and the more you proved yourself, the less he bothered you. Well, you watched him start to transform as well, but only half of him, only the right half of him, sprang scales, and the scales were a bright blue color, and they kind of ripped out of him. And it looked very painful, just like what Phyllis is going. It looks like these transformations really hurt. But then it looked like something went wrong, and they started to fold back in. And in the change back is where he went, and then filled up and died. So your manager started to change and then
holy shit,
then died.
I'm giving terror eyes at Jordan.
A bunch of people here have just died. They just kind of went through this. Nope, my body can't take it, and they just kind of there's little silver piles of people, where they've died. So so you're reacting by just hanging and watching for now.
That's a lot to take in, and now my powers are acting up, and that's also not so kosher. So yeah, definitely a little bit of internal freak out kind of in place.
So Jordan, to you, last but not least, in the reaction and change, this is your catalyst. So you went through the whole silver liquid sucking into your skin thing, and as soon as it did, you knew. It wasn't like, I wonder what's happening to me. It was like, oh fuck, and you felt it, but it's like this forbidden, case of toys to play with that you're afraid to touch anything because you don't want to break it or break yourself. But you're aware. You feel the change in you. You watch your manager go through this half change and then die right in front of you. You see your coworker, kind of does that silver change too, and as Yoel described, is now has a chaos of weird creation things kind of circling around her. You would also, if you would make a presence attack for me, presence attack, a presence roll for me as well. Am I here? Yes, I'm present.
Sometimes that takes effort.
So that's just a D20 plus my
D20
presence?
plus your presence.
Okay. Oh, and I rolled a 1 and my presence is a 3, so a 4.
Fantastic.
Not very present.
There is a wild bear right in front of you, and you have no fucking clue that it is your friend or your patron. You're just like, oh, bear! Right? You also saw several other people in the coffee shop, like I don't know if you know Steve or not, but you know him on site, and he's certainly a regular there. You watched him kind of stand up and vanish. He just went and he was gone. He didn't like leave. He didn't open the door. He didn't fucking do anything. He just kind of stood up, and there was just a blurry smear where he was, and then he was gone.
Yeah, it's like that Google thing where you push the thing and the person disappears in the picture. It's that whole thing, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, so there's not really, so the stuff kind of sucked into Jordan. There's not really any outward appearance. His eyes change color, but he doesn't even know that now. They've turned kind of purplish.
Okay.
Kind of his initial reaction is he's pissed because he knows somebody's going to blame him for this, and he's going to have to clean this shit up.
The store has never been this bad
And
before.
it's just, motherfucker, fuck. And so I look over at Miyu, and then I look down at Keith, the manager, and I'm like, well, at least we don't have to listen to Keith's bullshit anymore. And I kind of, for lack of anything else, it's like I head for the back room to go get a mop and a bucket because again, I'm gonna have to clean this place up. So
Okay. All right, fair enough.
You're so collected. You're freaking out. I have to hit the head.
That's his,
All right.
that's his
So-
response to stress. Cleaning.
So Jose, give me an awareness roll and an intelligence check to start your round.
Oh dear. Okay, I didn't realize you're
Yes.
back to me this fast.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
My my wife decided to put a package on top of the computer I use for a server, which caused it to crash because it wasn't getting ventilation. So, and that's what I was using to roll, so just had to restart.
Man, this
Anyway.
started off. I thought you were gonna like tell us a dirty story.
No, no.
My wife put a package on my tower. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, wrong package. Yeah, this one was from
NC-17.
this one from
know?
was from Mr. Bezos, as it turns out. So,
Fuck that guy.
come on.
Did you know that that Amazon makes most of its money? Most of its profits don't come from any of its commercial businesses. It comes from running the internet.
Technologies.
Yeah,
It comes from technologies.
What,
Yeah.
AWS?
Yeah, AWS.
All right. I got it. Oh, good. I got a die roller. What do you want me to do, sir?
First, you're gonna make an awareness roll.
Which is a D20.
D20 plus your awareness.
12 plus 1 is 13.
Right. Okay. So 13. That's and then I'm gonna need you to make a intelligence check, please. D20 plus your intelligence.
Well, that's easy because I don't have anything to add to the D20 roll. So
Okay.
that's a 2.
A 2. Okay. So you suddenly become aware that someone, you don't know who the someone is, but you definitely feel like you were at a pretty good clip. You run pretty fast. You're not a fucking Olympic sprinter, but you run pretty fast when you shit and get, and you were moving, and suddenly there was a hand on your shoulder, and before you could kind of turn your head to see whose hand was on your shoulder, before you could even move your face, you were suddenly standing in front of the two guys who were trying to hold this beam up.
Yeah, it would have felt like the whole world slowed down and you kept running.
You
I mean,
do
it's-
not
yeah.
understand at all how any of that worked.
Well, I don't understand how the explosion worked either. So maybe it's all part of the same thing. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the two guys who are about to get crushed by a building. Does
Okay.
that make sense?
Yeah. So you begin your round standing right in front of them. Somebody still has your shoulder. He still has a hand on your shoulder. You still haven't been able to. You haven't used any action to look to see who it is. Up to this point, it's just been like, and you're here.
Well, I'm going to focus on the collapse first, and then I'm going to look.
Fair
So
enough.
I want to stop this building from collapsing.
Okay. The beam that's holding the front corner up is fracturing. It's doing the outward splinter thing.
And I'm going to do the push together and hold it up thing.
So they're holding it on the wrong side. They're actually helping the fracture because they're trying to hold it up and they're actually pushing it out. So if you move to the opposite side, or if you were on the opposite side of the beam pushing against them, that might have some success.
I'll reach in an arm and push or pull from whatever direction I have to do, and I'm
Okay.
going to tell them to get the hell out. The building's going to fall down.
Okay. And your strength is what power level?
13. 200 tons.
13. All right. All right. So you are certainly able to straighten out the beam and push it back from the fracture back to a straight up, which is very effective. And for the short term, takes the two first responders, if you want to call them, takes them immediately out of danger. Once you did that, you also notice.
Look
you
to the
also-
guy who's got my shoulder.
Yeah, well, yeah. You also notice that the other person who's standing here is Steve. You know Steve. He's the lawyer that buys tacos from you, and he's around this area all the time. So you
Dude,
know
it's
who it
dangerous.
is.
Get out of here.
You know who it is, and now you're worried for all three of them.
So I grabbed the other two and I run with them.
Okay.
You make a cool channel sound or anything, you know. We need some kind of echo effect when you run.
Whoa. All right.
I mean, you can hear when you sound barrier.
So you're gonna touch the two of them and share speed with them, but they still have to move out. right? You just give them the speed, but they
I-
still have to move.
I'm not going to give them the option to move. I'm going to grab onto them, and then we're going to teleport to the back to the diner right where I was sitting.
Okay. All right.
You have like a German accent? It's really
Power level for your teleport is what? And you have a
Power-
special thing that's share other, teleport with other?
Yeah, I have a share teleport with other.
Okay.
Yeah, affects other. It's 8.
An 8. Okay.
I mean, so that's a mile, and but I also have increased mass, so I don't have to. I'm not going to share the ability on that one for them. I'm just going to grab onto them and then teleport, and that basically is the weight goes against the weight, and I can teleport with 6 tons. So I just grab onto them, and then we're there. We just teleport.
You don't have to pick them up in order to do it. You just grab them, and then it's a matter of how much you can teleport with.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. You do, and you're not taking Jose with you as well, or you are?
I
No,
don't know.
no. I gotta save this building and look for others inside.
Make an awareness check before you teleport away, Steve Stevenson.
16
SS?
plus
No.
oh, it's awareness is what we're doing.
It is.
Kyle, Steve.
20 total.
So you quickly assess the area above you, and yes, he has stopped the second story from falling in on the first story, but you're at a better angle to see that the third story is about to fall in on the second story. And when that happens, he's going to be crushed because that beam's going to be irrelevant at that point. And he's holding onto a beam that's just going to be. So that's what your awareness tells you.
How long will that take?
How long will what take?
From
In the next few seconds, you see it basically. You see the third story doing this. It's pitching and falling.
Okay, well, I'm gonna trust him because he has super speed of
Who does?
ungodly right now. Robert does. Oh wait, no. Once I teleported, I don't think he has that anymore. Let me check.
If it's a continuous,
No, it's
then
an
you have to
alternate.
if it's alternate, then yeah, it goes away.
Yeah, so
Unless
no
you
longer
bought,
has.
unless you bought an
I could-
extend the time. Because what happens
Yeah.
is it'll remain until you fail to take the free action to keep it going. Unless you purchased an extension on the time, in which case you can make it continuous instead of no, it doesn't need to be permanent. You make it continuous, and then you don't have to spend a free action to keep it going. But
Okay, that's fine.
So you teleport away and you leave Jose there holding the beam.
Yep.
Okay, fantastic. So Phyllis, back to you. So are you able at your power level currently to do a full transformation?
Yes.
All right,
looks
so
like
you
can.
have. You are in bear form.
fair.
Yep, I'm a full-on grizzly.
Bear gotta do what
Your
bear
turn.
gotta do.
Good question.
It's your
Yeah.
turn to decide what you want to do.
Move
and act.
Let's see. How close by is this building? How far away is Jose?
They're outside and across the street. It's the building on the opposite corner of the cul-de-sac.
Okay,
Where
I'm
the
gonna
truck is
I'm gonna
located.
attempt to move over there.
Although at the start of your turn, you would have seen Steve and two people from the bookstore appear in front of you.
With rubber duckies. Rubber duckies and a
Well,
disappearing-
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
the rubber duckies are behind the counter still.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
behind the counter with all the stuff swirling around her. Jordan has gone towards the back door to go get him.
Go mama.
And Steve has just appeared. You would probably also know Steve as well. He's a regular patron of the coffee shop, and he just reappears
Oh, he does
holding
come
on
back.
to two innocent
The
bystanders.
fuck is going on?
So Steve, you appear and you see a bear in front of you. You see a grizzly in front of you. But it's
Is
your
this the first
first time.
skinwalker I've ever seen?
That's
Uh,
a great question.
likely.
Okay.
Likely.
Not too many when they go around here.
No.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is the worst, the worst, the worst
This bear stand.
shape I could possibly be in at this point in time. Because I'm big lumbering. Yeah, I'm just taking it in. I look across the street and I see Jose
Holding up a bean.
attempting to hold something up, and I think, well, shit, I'm a bear right now. This is not unfamiliar to me, and so I start moving across the street to try to help.
Okay. Make an awareness check for me as you cross the
Bear
street
exits
over
stage
there.
left.
Oh God, 4,
Okay.
completely unaware.
All right.
Oblivious bear.
This bear sucks right now.
One of the vehicles that was partially buried in debris, as you're making across the street this way, the vehicle's kind of over here. It breaks free of the debris. It was like only partially covered, and there's still a driver inside, and he breaks the vehicle free and starts driving away. And it starts kind of a chain reaction. As he drives away, you're running over here. The debris that gets displaced was holding up the front face of the other building, and it caves. And you can see people inside the building that are now like clutching onto the floor and, holding on for dear life not to fall out because they've been completely surprised by the front of their building falling away. You've only moved half your move. So if you wanted to react and go that way instead of towards Jose, you could.
I'll go towards the people.
Okay.
The people that were starting to fall.
All right. At the end of your move, that'll put you basically right at the bottom of this corner of the building that's all fucked up. There's 3 stories that have been exposed. The top story just a little bit. The second and first stories completely, and the first story is mostly damaged. The floor mostly fell away. So where you've got people hanging off for dear life, it's off the floor of the second story, ceiling of the first.
Okay.
You've got one person hanging there, and then there's another person up on top, and they're trying to help that person. And you can just see that the whole front of that is gonna fall. It's totally unstable.
Okay.
So you have an action.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna
Barricade it.
barricade. I was gonna say I was gonna try to catch these people.
Jump to the bear.
Look, falling snacks.
Stand alone and go.
Tiger above you, tiger below you, right? They fall.
They're falling. The act of falling. I do have super strength. I also have the ability to regenerate should anything get injured.
That's cool.
Yeah, which is cool, but completely thick hide, 5 +5 toughness, just so
Pretty
you know
sturdy.
what I've got.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, I could attempt to catch one of these people that's
Okay.
that's falling.
So you're gonna ready an action to try to do the heroic rescue catch.
Make an attempt.
Okay,
Yeah, because I'm not gonna
fantastic.
get upstairs in time.
All right.
If there is
beautiful.
any stairs to even climb up at this point.
All right, Miyu, back to you.
All right. After somewhat getting over the shock and horror of everything,
Yeah.
I'm going to peek up over the counter and take in what is like visible there.
Sure.
Seeing no immediate danger as the bear tail vanishes off.
Steve and a couple of people teleporting back in. Poop is
Okay.
probably the first thing that you see.
Yeah.
Phyllis was already making her way outside. She was already basically past the entrance of the place when she started a run, and then she ran out of sight because she went around the trees and around the truck that's
Okay.
parked right there. So you saw her go outside about the same time that Steve appears.
Okay. I'm gonna start making my way around the counter then,
Sure.
asking Steve, what's happening?
I'm not sure.
Help. Helpful.
Yeah, that makes all kind of
Okay.
different.
I guess I'll start.
No.
Thanks. Helpful. I'm gonna start heading outside
Okay.
and just like trying to piece together anything I can understand, and also simultaneously pulling out my phone and starting to record.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. Fair enough. And Jordan. So Jordan, you go to the back door to go to grab cleaning supplies, and you open the door, and that part of the building gone. It looks
Son of a
like
bitch.
so here's what you think happened. You know that this old building has a big water tank, a big gravity-fed water tank up on the top of the roof. And it looks like that tank has gone boom, 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 right down through into the basement. And you kind of look down to suspect that, to kind of confirm what you're seeing. And you do get a refraction of light that looks like liquid, but it doesn't look like clear, clean water. It looks, like full of debris, and you can see things and people floating in it.
Great. All right. Well, I'm going to close the door just because
You're
I
like,
was
yeah,
leaving the door open.
You're like, I can't clean this.
Right.
You close the door, and the hinge side of the door gives out, and the door just falls into the hole, and you're like, oh, okay. All right.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna stroll back from whence I came and see what's going on, and probably head for the exit.
All right.
Since clearly the coffee shop is done.
is no mas, or mostly no mas. All right, so back to Jose. You're holding the beam up. That's not a problem. The weight's not a problem. What do you want to do?
All right, so 9/11 never happened, so I'm not aware of pancaking buildings and all the rest of that stuff. I do, and it's worth pointing out that if I go into powerlifter mode, I can actually hold 6.4 million pounds above my head.
Wow.
So it's really ridiculous. So I can do the whole Bulgarian weightlifter thing and try and keep this building up to let people get out. Is there anybody else left in this thing inside the bookshop? That's my concern.
The bookshop looks fairly clear. You've been in the place before, and you know that there are big doors, that big exits on the ground level, stairs onto the second floor, and then the level above that, the third level, would be like apartments above the store. So most people went out the back because the blast happened, mostly affected the front, so everybody went the opposite direction. It does not look like you don't see anybody moving around, but what you hear is the groaning of the building as it is leaning heavy, and you feel the additional weight. You're probably starting off, what do you hold, 200 tons?
I can easily throw, in terms of damages, 200 tons. In terms of powerlifting, it's 3.2 kilotons.
Yeah, but just in terms of your normal 200 tons, you were probably at half that when you first propped it up. So you're like, yeah, no problem, I got it. And now you're at like that full 200. You're feeling the extra weight. Something is shifting above. You can hear it. You can feel it.
Yeah,
well,
so
I'm going to shout for everybody to get out. And I guess I'm going to wait to see if I can see anybody moving or any sounds of victims about to be smushed. And otherwise, if I don't, I'm going to get ready to throw myself back.
Okay.
Yes.
So turn your action into a reaction. You're waiting on the trigger of anybody left. And if not, then you get the fuck out.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to move. Okay, good.
I'm not at all waiting for Steve to save me. I'm good.
Okay. You are able to successfully hold it up long enough for you to realize that the building's coming down. You heard the fire escape return, the spring-loaded fire escape return on the cul-de-sac side, and you hear the sound of a voice saying, "Oh my God, you're amazing!" as they're running the opposite direction. You think that they are likely the last ones out of the apartment level, And she's kind of shuffling 2 kids with her along the way.
All right. Well, that's my saving the cat out of the tree
Yeah.
part of this scenario. So with that, I'm going to throw myself back like a big jump because I'm worried that if I just let go, it's going to be
All right.
on my
Give
head.
me an awareness roll to see if you know which direction the building's falling.
19 plus 120. Yeah.
Yeah, you know exactly which way it's going. So an agility, give me an agility roll as well as you jump.
This isn't so good. Well, I guess it's no worse than awareness. 19 plus 1, 20.
All right. You jump to the left, the building falls to the right. And it does not look like anybody else was hurt.
Pick myself
For
up
the
and look
moment-
around.
For the moment, there is quiet around where you are.
Distant sirens.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All kinds of distant sirens. You hear military claps
All of the
going
sirens.
off. You
A
hear,
distant
yeah. I mean, you're hearing all the warnings, all the sirens, all that kind of stuff. But in your general area where you are, for the moment, it's on the quiet-ish side. For the first time, as you look out on the city, just in the close blocks, the 3 or 4 blocks in your general area, it looks very much like it did inside the coffee shop and in other areas, where it looks like a good 30% of the population just dropped dead from the event. Hundreds of thousands of people are likely to have been killed by the event, is what it kind of looks like, at least in the close area. There's all kinds of sounds happening as well. They're very distant, but there are now secondary explosions, and there are isolated sounds of energy discharges and other kind of secondary effects that are happening now in the distance, whereas you're all having a moment of quiet, maybe even catching each other's eye contact as you're all in the close area, and then in the distance towards Atlas Mall, there is definitely something else going on there. What it is, you don't know. And I'm also going to take a quick break and use the bathroom while you guys decide what you want to do.
Probably sheepishly make way towards the excitement. Little bit of
Hey, Yoel, I know you guys are sharing a mic. Is there a way you can move it closer to the 3 of you? Because sometimes it's hard to hear. I don't know how portable that is.
Yeah, no, it's pretty movable. I can put it in the center here and it should get us all better.
Yeah, that's already better.
Yeah. Yeah, I apologize. I tend to mutter.
No, I mean, even Mike is kind of quiet. And so the closer you can get that kind of position to the 3 of you, the better that's going to be.
Got it. Yeah, probably the closest would be like,
Mic adjust?
yeah, set it like here.
Huh.
Is it on full surround?
Yeah, should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that hopefully that'll make all
I had
3
it
of us
sitting
a
on
little
the
bit
box,
more.
so it got clear above.
Yeah,
the,
but I think it was too far away from us.
I mean,
Right.
raising it up.
The box underneath
Yep,
it. That's
exactly.
fine. There you go.
That should give us.
Hopefully that'll get us a bit more better clearance.
Is that better? Test 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, it's better. Yeah, it was just a volume thing, Mike. It's just trying to get everybody's volume to come up. And I realized if you could move the mic kind of closer to you guys, collectively, that's going to be better for us.
While we're talking about it, let me just see that it's not doing any hocus pocus bullshit.
No,
Nope.
it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it looks good. Looks like
Full
it's
volume.
not making its own adjustments, which is always good. Skynet, no Skynet.
Yeah. Yeah, Zoom's auto
Yeah,
is not so great.
yeah, agreed. So, what would you like to do?
I would like to begin to sheepishly move towards the extra racket that's going on
down
down
the Yellow Brick Road.
Road.
Yeah.
I'm playing Dorothy today.
Yeah.
Got my shoes. I'm gonna take a little walk and see.
Okay.
I'm, doing the scan around with my phone. I'm at probably like, I don't know, I guess enough stuff got damaged that might not have the best.
You might
reception at
even
this
have come
point.
out and started recording just in time to catch Jose saving the building, right? Like you had the perfect angle
Yeah.
of him holding the beam up,
Wow.
followed by the woman coming down the
Mhm.
fire escape with her
So I'm for
children.
sure live streaming it to YouTube style,
Okay.
like middle of the action. And I'm gonna start making my way towards the fun, scary, dangerous stuff that sounds like it's happening down that way.
Yeah. So if the Silver Storm was your origin, if it was your catalyst, or you had a bit of tickle and then it just enhanced it over the top like that, there is a secondary effect that you experience when you come in close proximity with other people who have been changed by the Silver Storm. You feel them. So it's not like you have radar. You can't track with this. You can't get direction or distance, but it's more like this weird kind of karmic kind of itch. So when you're in a group like this, you're like, yes, yes, yes. It's like that old soul kind of, I don't know how I know, but I do. So there's that kind of thing. If it wasn't, and you were already a super, you probably have a little bit of heightened awareness about such things anyway, because you're looking for the signs so that you can tone down the signs that you show, right? So you're constantly kind of hyper aware of that. And for that reason, your radar is kind of over the top, like those, so there is this scene in the book. There's the 2-page scene in the book where everyone is standing around looking at each other, giving each other that look of
Recognition.
that recognition look. And that is where we're at, turn page.
I feel you, sister.
Yeah. This shit is weird.
Yeah.
What do you think?
And I noticed that camera that's being held, that's live streaming his
Of course.
phone.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna be as normal as possible.
Anytime he looks at you, you're just like, wow, this is very frightening.
There's blood coming down my face from the glass.
Nice.
My suit is disheveled.
I'm definitely battered up, except for my clothing is fine.
I'm in great shape unless these people, unless I miss these people, they jump on me and somehow damage me. I haven't done a roll yet, but yeah, that's so far. I'm still in bear form.
Waiting to catch.
Yep. Wanting to kind of tuck it in because again, there's somebody live stream Facebook streaming or some
Sure.
shit. Yeah.
Okay. So Miyu starts moving towards, after that moment, Miyu starts moving towards Atlas, heading down Yellow Brick Road. What's everybody else doing after your scene of recognition? You've all acknowledged each other, you've all seen each other, you are all now either aware, like the Silver Stormers, you are all aware of each other. Like it's a weird kind of sixth sense, almost like hive empathy is how it
Right.
feels. There's no definition to it. It's just a feel, and it's a group feel, right? And then the rest of you who are not going through the silver, you you see what's going on. You see what's happening here. So
I'm gonna go with Miyu because why not? Something to do.
yeah, you're moving towards Miyu. All right.
I can tell that it's towards the mall. That
Yeah,
seems to be-
like it's classic. You where I have you placed, you're probably 4 or 5 big city blocks away from the mall, and that's the yellow brick road section that goes up and down over traffic and kind of does that thing. And the commotion that you're hearing is definitely coming from the mall, which kind of makes sense
A lot of
because
people concentrated
yeah,
there.
because you're in the Telegraph Avenue Shopsy area of Yellow Brick Road, and down there, that's where you've got the big department stores in the four corners, and you've got all the concentration of shit in between, and like probably 5 or 6 levels. Like it's a super mall, right? So it makes sense that if all hell's breaking loose, it's happening there. So noise, as everything else is quieting down, all you hear is sirens. You hear distant sirens everywhere. In every direction, there are sirens because there's shit happening, and there are first responders, emergency people happening everywhere. There is not a plane in the sky. Not one. This never happens. This is a major metropolis that has 2 big airports, one international and one not international, and a military base that is active and has plane travel. So there is not a single plane in the air right now. So that also dims down the background noise that you've come to be used to. You live near Oakland or San Francisco, hearing a jet in the air. You're in downtown San Jose, hearing a jet in the air, like it happens all the time. It's constant, right? So that's quiet and that's eerie and weird. You definitely notice that. So if there's a reason to keep you where you're at, let me know. Otherwise, it sounds like everybody's kind of moving towards the commotion because there's not much to do right here.
I'm going to strategically get behind you. Yeah. How do you say your name again?
Miyu.
Miyu. I'm going to strategically get behind Miyu so that there's no camera pointing at me. And then I'm going to teleport to the top of that mall.
To the top of the mall? Just blind? Just to the roof?
Yeah.
Because you can't see it. You've probably been there before, but from where you are, you cannot currently see it. Is that an issue for your teleportation at all?
It depends on what version you took.
No. I have the accuracy.
You have accuracy.
Yeah, so
accurate makes it so that you just need to be able to visualize where you're going. Maybe you've been there before.
I imagine you've been to the mall before, but have you been on the roof of the mall? That's all I'm asking. Like, is there any problems with your accuracy?
No, accuracy works that even if I just said, oh, I want to go to if it was within range, I want to go to Red Square.
Okay.
And then I go there. So there are limitations without that, though.
Okay. All right. So the rest of you are moving down Yellow Brick Road towards the mall. You get behind Miyu, so she's not filming you at the moment as she's swinging around. You're swinging that way, and then you teleport to the top of the roof.
Yeah, and that type of teleport for me takes 2 move actions.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, we're not in an initiative challenge. There are challenges in this game that are not initiative based, and there are challenges that aren't. So it feels like the skill check of old, the skill check of 4th edition. Like there's nothing holding you to an order. You can jump in and use your skills and your combinations of things as needed, and that's a non-initiative challenge. Where an initiative challenge is usually combat, or it's time is ticking down before something's going to blow up. And order very much matters, right? So
and that's so there's 2 different forms of teleport that I have. One is a very tactical.
Yep.
And then one is a longer distance with the accuracy and that kind of thing. So the longer distance one takes more time to.
You're using extended.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you teleport onto the roof of the mall.
Assuming it's there.
Well, you're on a roof. It is part of the mall. It looks as though, like I said, the super department stores look like they're built on the ends of the mall proper structure. Many of those are severely damaged.
Okay.
The mall in the middle and the parking structure seem to have taken less structural damage because it looks like it was built better. You know, it's all fucking super ginormous stone columns and, you know, parking structure columns. It's a lot of cement. It's a lot of rebar. It's basically a little baby bunker, right? So it fared pretty well. The facade in a lot of it looks like it didn't fare very well. You can see signage got blown away, and even where they've built crenellations and fun things on the front of the buildings, all that shit got blown away back down to base structure. But the mall itself is still fairly intact. The Neiman Marcus, the Macy's, the McCullough's kind of thing, they didn't fare so well because it looks like they weren't built quite as well. And those buildings took a good amount of damage.
I'm going to
Make an awareness check.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to try and spend some time if I'm not in immediate attacking kind of danger. But I want to try and understand.
You're on the low central point. So you're in a very middle point of the roof, which puts you low relative to other shit built around you. So you need to move up and to the edges to have a better view because you're in kind of a central lower area, almost like where they have these transition points on roof between the large superstructures that have all the AC units and everything. You're kind of in a lull between those. But make that awareness check for me.
Yeah, because what I'm really trying to figure out is what caused it.
Yeah,
I know that there's people that are, you know, let's see, 5 plus my awareness, 9.
Total of 9?
Yeah.
Okay, so like I said, you're in a bad spot to see. You're oriented looking back the way you just came, and you know that because you know you can see the T shape, which means you're facing back towards the north, right?
Okay, so
but you're sitting low. You're sitting low, and you can't really see the street level at all. You got to move somewhere in order to do that. Before you're able to move or do anything, what you do see is, and this is, if you're drawing a straight line down Yellow Brick Road, it's kind of over to the right a little bit, and it's moving across from what would be around 3-4 o'clock over to about 9 o'clock. What you see is a very high arcing, thrown really high up in the air, arcing up and coming back down. You see a 2-ladder fire truck with lights and sirens on as it goes, woo!
Okay, can I make a reaction?
You have a reaction, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to teleport into the front seat of that flying fire truck as a turnabout, which means I can teleport there, do something, and then come back. And my intent is teleport there. If there's firemen in there, grab them, and then teleport back.
Okay.
If there's no firemen there, then I teleport there, and then I teleport back.
All right. That is going to be a formidable challenge for you to hit your target on a moving object that is spinning in a centrifugal manner. So that is a 25 DC, and you are what skill does your teleportation use? It doesn't use a skill.
None of the powers use skills unless you give it to them. It's a it reduces the cost to make it take a roll.
I see. So then the power level is the modifier?
No, there's no roll unless you take the my understanding is there's no roll unless I take the power reducing or the cost reducing aspect of it.
I see.
Yeah, there's a special.
I mean, sure, there you can make it be a roll.
So the
intelligence to see about balancing how it's spinning. I don't know.
Okay. So the teleportation will happen automatically.
But you could probably, if there were people there, what you could have him do is make a grab check.
Yeah, because maybe I can't grab them in time, right? Maybe I show up and I try to grab them and then they can't, and then or maybe just a grab check to grab the truck because it's moving. I don't know.
Well, you're trying to teleport the whole truck or just them?
How
And
heavy is the truck?
if you teleport something, does it take
It
its
maintains
momentum?
velocity unless you've paid to not. do that.
I paid to be able to change velocity and direction.
So,
Oh.
so then he'll be able to just.
So you can just
Make it
teleport the
Yeah.
truck sitting
How-
back
how
on
he-
its wheels on
how-
the street.
Yeah,
Wow.
how heavy is the truck?
I mean, like
I
what,
can
6
I can
tons?
do
I was
6
gonna
tons.
Exactly
I
6
would-
tons.
My limit is 6 tons. So
6 tons.
6 tons is like what, two Ford
That's
Explorers or something?
12,000.
Yeah, it seems a little low
For a
Right.
fire
for
truck.
a fire truck.
6
Fire
tons.
truck weight.
38.
38 to
Nine-
60,000 pounds.
Yeah.
I've got 19.
So 19 to
tons.
30 tons is a fire truck. So at the
Well,
low end, it would be 19.
When you but can I just take the cab of it?
You might be able to do it if you did a power stunt.
Yeah, maybe that's the time to
Oh,
you
if you
could
did a
power
push.
stunt. You could power stunt to increase your rank.
Yep.
in mass. Yeah.
What's how far up do you got to go? One more level? You got to get to 38,000 pounds or 19
What's-
tons. So 25 tons is power level 10.
He's at 6 tons, so that's 8. So he would have to go up 2 ranks to hit 25 tons.
Yeah, 2 ranks and increase mass. Yeah.
So
'cause
you
I'm at
could
8.
so you could do a you could push and do that.
So what are the rules for pushing?
Have to look that up.
Yeah, me too. Let's see.
I don't recall.
Boom.
Do I use a hero point
Is
for
it
that?
called pushing?
It's called a power.
A power stunt. I couldn't find in the player's guide. I couldn't find details of how that actually worked. At least not in a way that made sense to me. I assumed there was more stuff in a game master's guide or something.
Let's see. It's probably under the how powers work section somewhere. Let's see.
Yeah, I found the Game Master's Guide to be largely about villains and building villains and building villain groups and
Oh, okay.
the villains and the way villains think, and because the game's all about fighting villains, so it
Right.
felt very much like there was very little like
Mechanics.
mechanical kind of crunchiness to it. It was a lot of it was
So
that.
taking your turn, extra actions, challenges.
I think it's extra effort. Is that what it is?
It might be
That
under extra
sounds
effort.
good. Let's see. Extended range, extra effort, 1920.
All right. See extra effort in the basics chapter for power stunts.
1920. Heroes are sometimes called upon to perform feats beyond their amazing abilities. This calls for extra effort. Players who can use extra effort to improve a hero's ability in exchange for the hero suffering some
There it
fatigue.
is.
The benefits of extra effort is not
All right.
limited by power due to extraordinary nature.
So power, increase one of your hero's power effects by +1 rank until the start of the hero's next turn. That's one of those things. Cost of extra effort. At the start of the turn, immediately after using extra effort, the hero becomes fatigued. A fatigued hero who uses extra effort becomes exhausted, blah, etc. So you
two
would,
ranks
so you
would
need
make
to
you
go up
exhausted.
2. But
Can I go up to 2, or is it?
I wonder if you certainly can. The question is whether you need to spend a hero point in order to do.
I think I do. I think I do.
What page is that on, UL?
It starts on page 19.
Heroic feat. You can spend an extra gain. You can then spend a hero point to gain a benefit on 1 rank of advantage you don't already have until the end of your next turn. Right?
That's for one you don't already have, though.
Rank of an advantage you don't already have.
So you're using hero
Improved
points,
roll.
edit
Using hero points.
heroic feat. Improve roll, inspiration, instant counter, recover.
I'll allow it.
Yeah, it's weird that they don't specify
It doesn't
doing
really specifically say so, but I'll allow it because I think that's a great use of it.
Yeah, I'll use a hero. It's worth a hero point to me, but that also means because I'm doing it as a turnabout, so I teleport there, grab the truck, teleport back. That means that the fire truck is on top of the mall.
of the mall,
Right.
of the roof.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I will mark down that I used the hero point.
You.
And there's like a shimmer when the teleport happens. There's like a shimmer, which is probably similar looking to that silvery dust, maybe some kind of a shimmery kind of flash.
Okay. So extra effort gets you fatigue.
Yeah, it's weird that it's not. It
Um,
doesn't specify that because the one thing that it does mention is that you can spend a hero point after extra effort in order to not be fatigued.
for
But it-
recovery.
Yeah, but it doesn't say anything about like going up multiple ranks. And that's just kind of weird.
And extra effort would be 12, would be shy by like 7. Yeah. Okay. No, I think that's appropriate.
Yeah, so I'm fatigued. That's fine.
All right. So you are going to teleport the 19-ton fire truck onto the roof. Let's see if the roof can handle 19 tons. Apparently it can. You are in a very well built part of the mall, and you have saved a driver, a co-pilot, and also 3 guys who were in the back
Okay.
who hadn't deployed yet. And they're all like, holy shit.
Okay, so just for future reference, you can take the extraordinary effort advantage, which allows you to choose to apply 2 of the extra effort bonuses, which would allow you then to take 2 levels of fatigue in order to increase your power level twice.
But you need to buy a power
It's
to get
an
that.
advantage. So it makes
if
sense
you want,
to
I
allow
can-
spending. Well, no, it makes sense to allow spending a hero point to gain a temporary advantage. Which
Oh,
then
okay.
allows you to take the extra effort bonus.
So
Which is you at
okay.
exhausted instead of fatigued, because
Right.
you're going to do 2 levels. Okay. So that's
Okay.
That's like in
Perfect.
so that's what I was thinking was
Yeah.
happening anyway.
Yeah,
All right, great,
perfect.
fantastic. So so you were exhausted, not fatigued. Boom. Okay. The rest of you saw the fire truck because you were coming at it this way, and you watched the fire truck kind of come this way,
Oh.
and you weren't going to see where it was going to hit. Yeah, you did one of these. Oh my God, did you see that? And you weren't going to see where it hit, and you were kind of all waiting for the boom, and the boom never came. You keep moving down the yellow brick road. All
As we're
right,
heading down, I'm looking for
where's
some
the
kind of
kaboom?
weapon that I can. Go ahead, Rob. Sorry.
No, I was just making Marvin the Martian comments. Go ahead.
So as we're walking down, I'm looking for like a weapon, a piece of rebar, a baseball bat, stick, something I can swing at somebody if I have to.
Oh, sure. There's plenty of debris. Plenty of debris.
Baseball bat's the preference, of course,
It's
or
all
guitar,
bad.
whatever,
Yeah.
something I can hit somebody
I'm-
with.
I mean, my
Yeah.
briefcase is right there. You could use that. Yeah, that could be your bludgeoning weapon of choice. You could
Getting ready for
specialize
a
in
fight, Jordan?
briefcases.
You can't really choke up on a briefcase very well. Baseball bats are better for that.
The driver is in like a panic where he's hyperventilating, and the passenger kind of smiling, like, it was, I didn't die, so that was kind of cool. Like, that was a hell of a ride. And he says to you, some big broad with lots of hair and armor wielding a stop sign like smacked the front end of the truck and sent us flying.
Shit.
Sturdy stuff.
We were just going to the scene to try to help put out the fire. He says, yeah. He goes, that was incredible. What are you? Who are you? What how did you?
I was on the truck. when I climbed on the truck. I got hit by I was there flying the whole time. What happened? I'm gonna try and be deceptive.
Yeah.
I was just holding on the side. You didn't see me?
I was there the whole time.
There it
At
is.
22, maybe they believe me.
Maybe. That's a good roll.
No, you're there now. Why else would you? There's lots of places to stand on a fire truck.
Do you have
Yeah.
any kind of deception skills
Like
or
breaking
anything
itself.
that would
I meant
Yeah. I have a deception is a skill.
Yeah.
It goes against awareness.
Intelligence or perception. A presence. I'm sorry. Presence
Presence.
is what it's
It's a
against.
presence. Okay.
okay.
Yeah. So 22 on that roll.
Okay. They're just they're looking at you. Like I said, the driver was fairly dumbfounded anyway.
It's
from the whole
a bluff
experience.
is opposed by the target's deception or insight check.
Insight, right. All right. So the passenger's just kind of looking at you.
You might have to horsepower it off, hold the power button until
The
it
guys in the
starts.
back are starting to pile out of the truck. They just want out. They don't give a fuck about this conversation. They just want out of that truck like right now. So they're climbing out. They're getting out and getting away and trying to figure out, get their bearings.
And then I say again, I didn't do anything, like making it very clear that now I'm saying, just forget that I did anything, because I'm just an average guy. That's what I'm trying to send the message to him.
Yeah, no, I got that. The passenger's not saying anything. He's just looking at you like, oh, whatever.
And what's the effect when I am fatigued?
That's a good
Or
question.
am I fatigued or I'm exhausted, right?
exhausted.
You're exhausted.
What penalties does that impose?
Let's see.
Exhausted
Characters are near collapse. They are impaired and hindered.
19.
Characters recover from an exhausted condition after an hour of rest in comfortable surroundings. So you're just like out of breath, you're staggered, you need a nap.
I didn't do anything. Wasn't me. Let me just catch my breath.
That's right.
The dude's like,
Okay, man.
sure. All right, so the rest of you keep moving toward the sound, towards the stuff while that is happening. There is a crash, a heavy crash of metal into metal. Might have been a car thrown into another car, might have been a dumpster thrown into a car, or car in a dumpster. It had that very kind of hollow, crunchy, metallic-y sound that is the end sound of a car accident usually, but there was no build up to it. There's no screeching of tires, there was no revving of engines, there was just a that's not too far in front of you, maybe a block over and a block down and a block over. There's also a significant number of screams that are happening from that area as well. And you're kind of maybe a block shy of the mall. You're kind of in that last full block area. As you're moving south, heading towards Atlas Mall.
Mm-hmm. Screaming.
Yeah, screaming like, not just one or two people going, ah!
Right,
like a bunch of
everyone
people
freaking
out and making noise and screaming out and calling and such. Yes.
All right. Well, that's where I'm going.
All right. So Steve's plan, once you are you staying up on the roof for now? Or
I think so. I think I need to figure out the whole effect of exhausted, what that actually does. but yeah, so for now, I'm just trying to get a look of what's going on around there. If I can teleport, I'd like to teleport just up into the sky, just
So
to get
you're
a
impaired and hindered. So an impaired character is at -2 circumstance penalty on checks,
Okay.
and hindered. Where are you?
Worse. Hindered sounds worse.
You move at half normal speed.
Move at half normal
So
speed.
you move at half, and you get a minus on your checks.
Okay, so that wouldn't limit my ability to just teleport high up into the sky to get a bird's eye view of what's going on.
Right.
So then that's what I'll do. I'll just teleport up.
And begin a free fall.
Yeah, just to begin a free fall, just to look to see what's going on. So kind of like, so we can see that maybe that map again that you had before. And you can point out details that maybe we're seeing or that are different. And then I teleport back.
Are you doing this as that there and back again thing?
It depends on how, I mean, I don't know that it matters. I mean, we can go up there and then I can fall for some time and then
Fall for
teleport
6
back.
seconds and then just teleport back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So
So you-
like I'm teleporting high enough that I probably don't get any clear details because I'm high.
Yeah.
Because I need to counteract, falling for such a certain amount of time. But
Sure.
So like I'm a mile up maybe.
All right. Make an agility check for me.
Not to fall sideways.
Not to start spinning, not to get hit by
Yeah.
wind, not to.
like
Just
like
to be able
acrobatics.
to balance even to get a view.
Yeah, sounds like acrobatics.
Yeah, so 17 plus 1 minus 2, right? The minus 2 is what
Minus
the
2
penalty is.
circumstance. correct.
Circumstance, right?
So that's 17.
Okay.
17.
So you're able to stay mostly flat and facing the way you want. The first thing you notice is there's an obvious point. There's an obvious blast point. There's an obvious epicenter to you, and you can see it really well from up here. There's a spot just in front of the mall. And it looks like it's on the yellow part of the brick because you can see where the paint has been completely blown away.
So this is at the end of the yellow brick road?
Correct. Where it meets Atlas is where it looks like the epicenter was. That's the first thing you notice.
You can tell me it's something else that we notice next round. You can.
Well, you'd also be able to not see any planes in the air. Being a mile up, you'd be able to see across the harbor, and you can see military planes that are beginning to muster on the tarmac. You can also see from the airport, you can see emergency helicopters are taking off and flying towards the city. It's all, like medevac and that kind of stuff is happening. That's the only thing up in the air besides you. Make an awareness check for me to end your round.
Perception.
Oh, a natural 20. So
Okay.
that's 24.
All right.
Wow.
You can't make out the specific details, but there's a flyer. There's a person flying about 3/4 of a mile away from you, closer to the ground. But you see them kind of zip, 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 and you're like, oh, there's somebody flying down there.
Okay.
All right. So the rest of you, you're coming down Yellow Brick Road. It kind of turns, and you are kind of getting around a large art thing, a large, like middle of the road sculpture piece. And as you're getting around the back side of it, the first thing you see is a horrifying looking individual who has multiple tentacles for arms. And he is reaching out to really far distances around him, like just the tentacles just seem to go and go and go. And he's grabbing up innocent bystanders. He's wrapping up innocent bystanders, and he's flipping them up in the air, and he's smacking them on shit and tossing them, picking up somebody else. Like he's just wreaking havoc, right? Above him, you can see the woman that was described to Steve. She is a large, muscular built woman with huge flowing blonde hair behind her that kind of beehives in an electric sort of way, like it holds together in a sort of way. Her armor is kind of just floating slightly off her body all around her. So you can see all the pieces of her armor, and it is largely made up of other stuff where it just looks like a chunk of this and a bit of that and a hunk of that, and and it's all formed, and it hovers around her. None of it actually touches her. Same with her crown or her helmet. It's like free. She has a band that kind of circles around the head, and then she has all these free floating kind of bits and plates and things that make up her helmet. But none of it's actually touching her. She is wielding a stop sign. And you see as the octo-looking dude, he takes an innocent bystander, smacks him down on the ground, stunning him, and then throws him up in the air. And she's standing there with the stop sign, and she goes, and she just hits him and sends this person flying.
Oh, dude, that is not okay.
Or into a wall or such.
Villains.
You can also see a feral-looking individual who is moving very quickly and is doing things like running over to the bus stop and picking up the garbage can next to the bus stop and just hucking it at someone, and then running over here and just causing havoc. Like tearing things apart and ripping tires off of cars and throwing them at people, and just basically that kind of havoc that you're seeing.
Yeah.
Seems really unnecessary.
You cannot see the individual right now, but there are bright arcing flashes of light that are happening a little farther down the street outside of your view. At this time, we're rolling initiative.
Should I roll that, or am I too far away?
No, I'm going to have you roll initiative so I know where you are in the order. But you are hella far away, so we'll have to we'll manage the sighting and the seeing and the hearings and such. What is Steve's initiative modifier now?
Right now, it's 48.
No, your initiative modifier.
Yeah, my initiative modifier is plus 48.
Holy shit.
Plus
What?
48.
Huh?
Steve goes first.
Yeah, that sounds like it goes first.
It's the super speed stuff. 48.
Okay. And how much awareness is involved with that? Like, how's that manifesting? What is it?
So how that's manifesting is that time slows down around him, and that gives him time to assess the situation and see what things are happening, so that he can then react.
Okay. It seems dumb that number got that high.
Yeah, but it's superheroes. Like, just a generic speedster has like a plus 40, I think.
Phyllis, what's yours?
I have no idea where my initiative is.
And
I rolled a
Jordan,
10.
what's yours?
It's at the top in the middle.
Modifier? It just says +1 under abilities, so I assume that's it, right?
+1, yeah. +1 initiative.
It's up next to your name.
Not 48, 2. So I got a 12
+12.
total.
Okay.
No, +2.
Oh, +2.
Oh no, I rolled a 10 plus 2. So it's
And Jordan, your modifier is +1. Is that what you said?
Yes, +1.
All right, fantastic. All right, for
Mine's
ordering
also
and
plus
such.
Oh my god.
All right, I think I had yours already. Yes, yes,
Mine's
yes,
+1.
yes. All right. So Steve rolls a what?
I rolled an 18.
I'm gonna watch you do this.
66. If I did my math right.
Yeah, because it really matters at that point, Steve.
What are we looking for?
Initiative.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's not 66. It's a 64.
I missed it. Whoa.
Yeah, don't get it wrong, man. Don't get it fucking wrong.
Team Jordan.
11.
No, wait, it was at 64 because I have a -2 from being hindered.
See. You're welcome.
62.
No, he had a 66, so now it's 64.
Oh, 64. Okay.
I don't know if that's enough.
For no reason at all. Jose.
21. That's as good as it gets for me.
Yep. Okay.
This is gonna be bad. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Who's not a fighter?
Me.
Mew is not a fighter. She can fight, but
Not in the face,
not just
not in the
not
face.
well. Not well.
Not in the face, not in the face.
Maybe we should try diplomacy.
Doesn't look like the kind of folk
Yeah.
that works with, honestly.
Have a little
Yeah,
sit down and
hitting
chat.
people with stop signs like they're a baseball. I'm thinking diplomacy's probably out the window.
Probably out the window. She is very attractive though, so that is a +5 circumstance bonus if people like her. But unlikely. I see that tentacle guy there. I know where that leads. Staying out of that.
12, 2. Boom. Then we've got a 10 and a 4. All right. Beautiful. Top of the order is Steve.
Yeah, but I'm far away. So do I see anything else?
So,
And if I don't, then
make
I-
an awareness. That's a pretty hard DC. Yeah, make an awareness check.
Like an insight check? Oh, yeah.
Is it?
yes.
No, it's not
So let's see. It is a 20.
Perception check?
Is perception a skill off
Yeah,
of awareness?
Perception's a skill off awareness.
Okay. I've been using awareness for perception. So perception check then. If that changes, same roll. Just
It doesn't change anything for me.
Okay.
Not right now. Yeah.
So what was it?
20 even.
All right. You are not directly aware of what they are seeing.
So what
Right.
I'd like to do is understand where they're at or guess where they're at and then teleport there. That would be my turn. So
So you're up in the air.
I mean, they've been walking for a couple of rounds, right? So
Yeah.
even if I just teleported back where I was at in front of the cafe, I can catch up.
Well, you
with
have
it.
precise, so you could literally define, just say I teleport behind their group and you'd be there.
But I have to know where the group is. So that's what I'm saying. So I'll
I
just
don't
go.
I don't think you need to
Yeah,
know
because
where it is specifically. If you
I don't know if I was the DM, I would say you can't just choose to teleport behind your group if you don't know where your group is at.
because you can
I would make an intelligence check or something. Say, okay, well, how far have they moved? Or I'll just teleport back to in front of the cafe and catch up next round.
Yeah, it's not like you're slow.
Yeah. So just
Read how teleport works.
Okay.
Teleport.
You and your 66.
64.
Here,
I was,
here it is. See, look, accurate. You don't need to know or accurately sense your destination to teleport there. Just be able to generally describe it, such as inside the Capitol building lobby or atop the Emerald Tower's roof. If the destination isn't in your teleport range, nothing happens.
But those are all descriptions of places, not behind my friend.
Yeah, exactly. It's not moving. Also,
It isn't moving. So
on the tactical teleporting, I don't have accurate. I only have accurate on the
Oh,
long distance.
on the long distance.
And it's long distance, like quotation marks. It's one that takes double move actions to
It's
do.
extended.
So it's
Yeah.
extended, yeah.
Yeah.
And it is only extended. So I have to take 2 move actions.
Oh, it's the +0 version.
Yeah. So this one, I'm just gonna go back to the cafe.
Okay, that's fair. Um,
And is that an action? Is that a move action? What
Move.
is that?
It's a move.
It's a move? Okay.
Teleport is a move.
Okay. Yeah, that's my turn.
okay.
Unless I see something right in that immediate area that needs some other action to be done. But I don't think so.
Okay. Let's see. That will bring us to boom. All right. So you cannot see the source of this voice yet from the street level where you guys are because you haven't moved close enough to it yet. But you hear a voice say, "And so you have fallen into the powers of of Lord Etheric. And you will remember this day as I will bring you pain and suffering."
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll say.
He spoke with a lisp. Jose, you are up on 21.
All right, so Jose is going to move towards Dr. Octopus here. And I'm going to go up there and punch him and grab him. That's what I'm going to do. Make him stop throwing up the balls so the Planet Claire can hit them with her stop sign.
Okay.
With all of your 200 tons carrying capacity strength, that's just unreal. Like I was looking at it, like it's not that you can lift 200 tons. It's like that's my carrying capacity.
Right.
Like that, I have that in my knapsack, and I'm not.
That's my
I'm
walking
not-
around. That's my weighted
walking
training
around with-
suit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not encumbered. I'm not encumbered when I carry that.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
This is the guy who rolled a 66 for his initiative.
No.
Superheroes.
Superheroes, right?
How far can you move? How far do you move on a move? What's your move speed?
You're muted right now. Oh, he's probably talking to somebody else. That explains it why he's muted.
Looks like he's chatting to his Wi-Fi.
I think that the normal move. It's see if you click on special, then partway down there's a thing that says movement. I think normal movement.
Base movement is 30 feet, 2 miles per hour. Running
Yeah.
at 60. All right. So you move 30 feet. 30 feet is not enough to get to Octoman. Do you want to move? Do you
Yeah.
want to take 2 move actions to get to him? All right.
So 30
Full
feet
dash.
per round.
All right.
Run is 60 feet per round. So you could run.
Okay. He's really fucking weird looking. He doesn't look like Dr. Octopus. Even though he has an octo kind of feel to it, he's actually more like a human squid. And it's very, very eerie and very disturbing. He's very freaky, super freaky and creepy looking. And he seems to be deliberately squeezing the people in his tentacles to make them make noise. So he's dog toying them.
He's playing
dog toying
them?
Yeah, that's what he's doing. And he has the biggest smile on his face. He seems so fucking pleased with this. But it is, as you move up to him, Jose, It is very intimidating. And he will use his startle advantage against you. 19 plus 9 versus your insight, intimidation, or will defense, whichever is better. So the roll
to scare
is a 28 versus insight, intimidation,
Dog
or will
waving, that was
defense.
actually pretty clever.
All right. Well, I'm trying to find where those things are
I
here. So just a
presume
second.
whichever is the highest.
Which tab is that under?
You could just look on skills.
Okay. And are you
Hmm.
sure about that?
And will defense is like your number added to 10. It's always base 10 plus your number for will defense.
Well, yeah, but so presence, is that what you want?
Insight,
Presence plus 10?
insight, intimidation, or will defense is what it says.
Okay, well, I guess if it's intimidation, that'll be better. I got a +4 in that. I don't know where it is. I'm looking at what I'm supposed to find here. I'm sorry.
Just
Intimidation.
a +4. If it's +4, then that's it. It's +4.
Well, that's how I intimidate others.
Right, but you can use it as a defensive.
Okay, so I got +4 to it
You're
then.
basically saying, I know how to intimidate people. This guy's trying to
So-
intimidate me, and I don't buy it.
And as a defense, it's 15 plus your bonus, right? So his intimidation defense would be a 19.
Is-
Would
Yeah,
be
it sounds like it's not enough.
right. That's what they have to roll against.
I don't have a clear understanding of what those rules are.
Startle.
I don't know how that part of the game works very well.
And that's why we figure this shit out.
So it would be under challenges or maybe under challenges or conflicts. Probably under conflicts. Defenses. Here we go. All right, defenses. You add your defense rank to a base value of 10 to determine your defense class against an attack, which is the DC of the attack check. So a hero with a parry of 11 has a defense class of 21 against close attacks.
So it's 15 plus the
So
plus the
10,
bonus.
10 plus the bonus.
10 plus the bonus. All right. So your intimidation was a 14 and he rolled a 28. So he definitely
Oh
intimidated.
yeah, he definitely kicked. He's
Yeah.
a little rattled.
Yeah.
But I wonder, is that a resistance? A successful attack has some effect on the target. Typically, this is the effect from the power sector, such as damage or affliction. The effect has a rank used to determine a difficulty class for the target's resistance check.
Yeah, so the resistance, there's a separate check that's probably done,
So
which
you
is a
would make
resistance check,
a resistance, and it is a check,
which means it's based off of the standard DC of the power.
right?
So
it's
the-
based- so the
So the
has-
power shouldn't have a roll associated with that.
because they're not trying to hit you with something, right? That their power probably hits automatically. So then you would roll a resistance check, which is the DC of the effect rank plus 10.
Yeah, so what's the DC of the effect rank? It's normally 10 plus the power level of the power. At least that's what I've noticed and what I've looked at.
What was the
10 plus his power.
plus his power effect rank?
It should have a little thing in the power section on it that says DC and a number.
Yeah, plus 9. Plus
So it'd be
9.
19. So you'd be rolling a resistance check.
So I think you roll a 20-sided die and then you add 4 to it and you need to beat a 19.
Yep. Right, because you're
Alright.
not actually defending against it.
So I rolled a 2, so that isn't going to happen.
All right, so that would yeah. So
All right.
Apparently, I've had groceries show up 2 hours early for delivery, so I gotta grab some stuff here. I'll be right back.
How late are we going
Unless he's going
today?
to crush my head.
yeah, are we going to 2 or to 3 today? What's the
Anyway, right there.
because it's on the calendar until 2, but 3 would be 4 hours.
3 would be 4 hours is what I was planning.
Okay.
I figured we would be done with this. The opening sequence is this battle, and then the aftermath, and then we're basically done for the first session. So
So I'm gonna do
if
Western
we're
Union
if
as
we're
well.
done before 3 o'clock with that, then
Right.
certainly.
That's Rob's.
Yeah. That's all good. Conditions. So what I'm trying to figure out is where is it? Conditions 1719. That's what I wanted. Okay.
Rapid throw.
What's interesting is it doesn't it says the effect is freaky and intimidating, but it doesn't say what the effect of intimidation is. What condition does intimidation make?
I assume it says something. It's an affliction, right?
Intimidation.
So I think that
Intimidate is not a it's not a condition. Which is why I was like,
so it's just the skill, or is this a power?
He has a he has, it doesn't say, it just says he's creepy as fuck, and he can seriously, he's freaking creepy. Use that with his intimidation skill or startle advantage.
All right, so
So it's easy.
So
doing it as an skill.
intimidation will give the target a -5 penalty. It's considered disabled until the end of your next round.
I see. Okay.
Because what's the startle advantage do? Is the thing.
Startle allows you to use intimidation in place of feint in combat.
Oh, so okay. So it could
So he basically used that, intimidated them. Now he gets a -5 until the
target
end of
us
his next
inside
round.
intimidation or will defense because we're in combat.
Right.
So
Jose takes a -5 on his next attack.
-5 next attack. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that,
Next anything on whatever you do.
Right.
All
Yeah.
right. Sorry about that. I have
Sorry.
Instacart shows up 2 hours early, and the guy calls me from an area code in Alberta, like 2,500 miles away. Turns out I didn't answer the phone.
Yeah, naturally.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up is the feral looking bad guy
Bad guy.
who has yet to be
He's a
identified.
bad guy.
Speedy, not lispy.
Not the lispy guy.
Got it.
He's a different guy. Okay, so feint. If your deception check succeeds, the target is vulnerable against your next attack until the end of your next round. See vulnerable. Vulnerable reads, vulnerable characters are limited in their ability to defend themselves, having their active defenses. So I don't know where that -5 comes from. So on his next attack against you, you will have your defense. Your active defenses are halved against his next attack. I'm not sure where that -5 thing came in. Maybe he was looking at demoralize. I think he might have been looking at demoralize.
Yeah, sorry, I'm over here talking to myself. I'm muted.
Oh, oops.
Yeah, it was based on the demoralize. It
You
was
were
just
looking
this,
at demoralize. Yeah, no.
just
So we're
this-
looking at feint.
just-
which is-
yeah, just the standard intimidation.
right, but
structure.
he wasn't actually intimidating. He was using an ability which allows him to use intimidation for a feint.
Oh, so you're okay. So it's a feint.
It's a feint. Instead of just using deception, which is normally what you use for feint, he was feinting with intimidation.
Because he's creepy.
But he's creepy.
Because he's creepy and weird.
So you'll have your active defenses against his next attack.
Okay. All right. So this feral looking creature is going to jump from its position at the start of the round. It is going to jump so that it ends up right next to Jose, putting right behind Jose. She just leaps and ends up right behind you, and will attack you with claws and teeth
Whoa.
in an all-out attack.
All right. Bring it, motherfucker.
Okay, so her claw attack is a 13 up 9, is a 22. And
Oh,
is
that's
this
not
where
so
his
great.
This is
defense comes in?
no, that's only against the guy who
Only
fainted.
against Octo. Okay. All right.
So whatever his defenses are, that's the DC for their attack. So what's your dodge or your parry?
Dodge and parry are both 6.
6. So
So
16
All
is
right.
hit the defense. So it sounds like she made
So she
made
hit,
that. So she hits.
and she has damage 9.
So what you do is it's like 15 plus 9 is the damage, and that goes against his toughness. So he's making a toughness defense check, I believe. And the DC is 15 plus 9, so 24.
So I've got to roll like my toughness to get it
You
beat
have to
DC
roll,
20.
you have to roll a DC 24
Toughness resistance
defense.
check.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And if you
And
fail,
I rolled a 12. I have a 13, so that's a 25.
25. So you succeed, you remain uninjured.
Okay.
She comes up there and
Interesting
she
system.
hits me in the back. And I'm like, what the hell?
And
Hey!
and then she'll try to bite you with the same roll. So
He's
that
got
will
2 attacks.
she has all out attack. Yeah.
Oh, right.
So that's the same. That's a 20.
So that'll go past his
That's a 21 again.
19. So now another toughness defense check.
Yep.
Not as well this time. 16.
So 16 is not going to make the right because her other attack is higher than 16, right?
You better take me out because their defense is down.
21, 22. It was 22. It was 9 plus 15.
9 plus 15. It's
Yeah.
the same thing.
Yeah,
Okay,
same
I
damage.
wasn't sure if she had alternate
Yeah, yeah,
attacks.
yeah. No, it's the same. It's
All
the
right,
same.
so then you will be injured. You'll gain 1
Is that just
injury.
failure 1 degree?
What's the difference between the two?
I think it's more.
Yeah,
I rolled a 15.
15,
Sorry, 16.
16. Difference is 22,
21.
21.
So the difference is 6. Right?
And I
is
don't
that
think
6
that
full
that's
degrees?
no,
21 minus 16 is 5.
and I don't think that that's a degree. I think that is it 10 every 10 points? Let me look here.
Yeah, I'm looking too. Increased threat range, strength and damage.
Attacks. Damage. Here we go. Damage resistance check is toughness versus damage rank plus 15.
That's what I'm looking
On
at.
failure, 1 degree, 2 degrees, 3 degrees. What's a degree? That's probably under basic, isn't it? It's probably under basic.
What are you doing?
The core mechanics. All right. If the result equals
Where was it?
What?
You're not muted right now, Robert.
Compare.
We're looking at degrees.
Yeah, we're trying to
D.
find degrees. That's what I'm trying
D.
to find here is where degrees.
Degrees of success and failure, part page 14.
Page 14.
Yeah.
All right.
Degrees of success and failure. Each 5 is a level.
All right.
Each 5 is a level. So the DC was
So he
So
failed
2
by
degrees.
5.
So
So
that's 2 degrees.
so
He
it
failed
was
by 6. So that's 2 degrees. The first one is a failure, and then 5 more.
If it's 21 versus 16, I failed by 5.
Right. So
so
that's
that's 1 degree.
That's 1 degree. All right. So the target has -1 circumstance penalties on further resistance checks against damage.
So you'd take 1 bruise.
You're bruised once, right?
And you take 1
Yeah.
bruise.
Right.
All right. So,
So
that
0 through 5 is 1 bruise. 6 through 10 is 2. Right.
and that is
Or is it 1 bruise, but then you're also like dazed? How does that? Each bruise condition imposes a -1 circumstance penalty on further resistance checks to avoid damage.
It's
No,
the
yeah,
actual
I think it's
degrees of the
dazed.
hit that bring it's the actual degrees of the hit that bring dazed and these other effects. So a 2 degree hit, a 2 degree fail brings
Brings
daze
daze
also.
with it
Yeah.
alongside the bruises.
Yeah. So you can have up to 4 bruises, and after the 4th bruise, you're out.
You're out. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
At
knocked
that
out. You're
point,
incapacitated.
4 degrees is incapacitated.
You go straight to incapacitated. All right. So
No,
so
bruises
Jose-
don't stack that way. I didn't think they did. I
It's
thought
not,
that they were independent. At 4 bruises, you're not incapacitated. You're taking subsequent penalties
but at 4, if you get 4 degrees of failure on something,
on a single attack. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But the bruises make it harder to.
Yeah. So I get what you're saying. You can only get at 4 effective bruises in a single attack, then it would be incapacitated.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
And of course, if you're already at 6 bruises, then you're getting a -6 on your defense roll, on your resistance check.
Yeah, it was just making it more difficult to not, or dazed or staggered and so forth.
Makes sense. Okay.
the creature that just attacked you, Jose, has striped face, long pointed ears. It's basically covered in thin yellowish tan fur with dark streaks through it, long black claws, feet with long black claws as well, big fangs. Definitely got a wild animal kind of
My major concern right now is it has a head and it appears to have a neck, right?
it does have both of those.
Then that's all I need to know.
All right, Mongoose is done. Miru, you are up, followed by Phyllis.
Oh boy. I've got some good content happening here. I'm trying to get like a good angle on Jose being the hero here. Let's see. I don't particularly feel like trying to attack these folks because that sounds awfully dangerous. So I'm going to I want to get a little bit of height maybe though. That'd be pretty cool. So I'm gonna produce a staircase from where I'm at and as an action and use a move to walk up it. Maybe
How much stair can you make?
an enormous amount, but I'm not going to make that much.
1 movements of walking up.
Yeah, I'm gonna
30,
make
30 steps.
Yeah, 30 little steps going up, just a little, you
Okay.
know, just bloop, staircase, little wooden staircase, and
That's
walk
so
up it.
that's so cool. So that you can get better video camera angles.
Yeah. Get a good angle on him. You know, just going up, making color commentary.
Okay.
And
You just
thoroughly
need to be
enjoying-
able to turn invisible at the same time.
I know I can't turn invisible, unfortunately. Not one of my abilities, but that'd be handy. Oh, I'm really not paying attention. 7.
7. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
So you're holding the camera at the wrong thing.
Jose also
I'm not seeing the thing that's coming to attack me from behind, right?
a perception check for me too as well. Right after you were attacked, you were entitled to a perception check that I forgot to ask you for.
No problem. This is awareness, right?
Perception.
Oh,
Perception
perception.
skill is based on awareness,
Right.
but
But you can add skill points into it, so it
Okay, so that's
can be
more than that.
choosing
That's
to make-
16 then is what it is.
16. Okay. After this creature bit you, she attacked you from the rear. She clawed at you that didn't do any damage, but when she bit you, she bit down kind of like at the base of your neck, and you heard her go,
All right, choke on it, bitch. All right.
Go for it. You're up your stairs.
I'm up my stairs. I'm taking some good photos.
Okay.
I'm taking some good angles for the YouTubes.
Fantastic.
You get so many likes.
I could teleport you up into the sky and you could get like a falling view. Like you're a drone or something.
So I see something here, feint plus surprise attack says one character uses deception or intimidation with a startle advantage.
That's
Jose?
what the dude just did. That's what Octoman just did to Jose. When he
Okay.
ran up to him, he got startled in the exact same way.
Perfect, because it says here, a teammate makes a stealth check against a DC of the distracted foe's perception bonus plus 10. If the stealth check succeeds, the foe is vulnerable to the next attacks of both characters. I don't know if we're like yet in a team. If we're yet using team first.
Their ally would be getting an advantage on attacking.
Exactly. Me and Jose are gonna gang up on this.
Do
on
it.
this thing. Yeah.
Well, I think that's for the one who does the startling.
Oh,
It
for the
does
one who does
both.
Sterling.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm not.
Right. So if you used deception to startle,
I can do that because I actually have pretty good. Intimidation and hang on, teammate.
but you don't have the startle advantage.
No, I do
Right, so
not.
you
I'm
wouldn't
not goofy looking.
startle.
Okay,
You would just.
I should,
You
I'm
could get a
there.
feint, but you wouldn't startle.
let's try to feint.
So feint is deception, which you have +7. That's pretty good.
Pretty damn
And the
good.
effect of fainting is what?
Fainting is the whole halves their defense on the next attack thing.
Oh,
And I
gotcha.
rolled an 18 plus 7. So
25.
And that's against their insight or deception.
You're talking about Octo, or you're talking about
Who
the
are you?
mongoose?
let's talk about Octo.
Octo. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is against his.
Bear versus octopus.
Fight.
This is against his what defense?
Either it's not a defense, it's either against deception or insight.
Oh,
It's a skill, it's a skill defense, so it's like 10 plus whichever one is his.
so that would
is the
be
DC.
19.
And what'd you get? You rolled an 18, so
Rolled
you
an
easily
18.
passed his
Yes,
defense.
exactly.
So that would mean that his has been fainted. So
All right.
his next, the next attack that she
Against
makes,
her.
right? The next attack that she makes against him, he will his
Half
his
the-
half,
half the
defense.
Yeah. Okay. Against Octo.
Yes.
All right. Got it. All right. Move over and intimidate to feint him. Cool. Octo is up. Let's see. He has currently, I believe he's all filled up. He has a bunch of innocent bystanders in his
So hands
in
are
his
full.
hands.
You have a beak mouth.
Uh,
An owlbear.
I'll. They're talking about Octopus Man.
They do have those little hard.
Yeah, they
I
got.
remember
beaks.
dissecting them.
Oct-
Yeah.
Octopods have beaks.
So when I roll an attack.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have an attack that basically ages them. So if I roll an attack,
It's an
then
affliction.
yeah, it's an affliction.
Right. So if it requires an attack roll, then you roll an attack to hit them.
And once I hit them,
If it doesn't, then you
that
don't.
they
Half-
resist that attack though with either a dodge or a parry, and then if they do get hit, then they would have to fight against the
Well, does
the
your
resisted
does-
by.
does your affliction power require an attack to
A
hit?
10.
It says attack, but maybe that just
Alright.
means it is an attack. I'll look
So-
at it more.
Okay.
Octo has 4 arms that he can use and attack. He has more than 4, but he has 4 that he can use and attack in any given round. Right now, he has 4 innocent bystanders wrapped up in his 4 arms. So he begins his round by taking his lower left and his upper right and smashing them together head to head. and they go, and they are just done. He just pulps them. He is incredibly
Jelly.
strong in their bodies. He just kills them
Yeah.
and drops them. With those two open hands, he is then going to strike. And that can be against Jose. It
Right.
can be against.
Which is a good idea because he hasn't freaked out. So the answer to your question is yes, it is a close range attack unless you've purchased enhancements on it. So you would make the attack action basically to hit them, and then when you hit them, then they would make a defense roll against the affliction.
to see if it.
Once I hit him.
It's like penetration.
Yep.
You can hit
Yeah.
somebody and still not do damage. You can hit
Yeah.
them and do
Yeah.
a lot of damage, or you can just outright not hit them.
And the resistance is fortitude or will versus the DC, which
Yeah.
of affliction rate.
It's a will.
That's the replacement for their hit point system. There is no hit point system that takes a barrage of damage
Right.
over time.
Yeah.
It's just
It's binary. It's yes or no.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus like
Exactly.
ranks of extra hurt.
All right. So you're in range, and how far up? You went 30
I
feet
went 30
up.
feet up, yeah.
Yeah, he can elongate. You're
Yeah,
in range too. So I will say
I didn't really try to get out of the way as much as I did to get a better perspective on things.
low, mid, high on the first. So mid, his first strike
Yep.
is going to be against you.
Bear.
And
it.
he is going to do a tentacle attack
Well, you are a very good target.
against
Very
your
good.
and he crits.
Ooh.
So that's a 28 is what the crit modifies up to.
So that I'm sure that's higher than
Um,
your DC than your defense DC.
Good question.
So if you look under it, I think that if you go to in play, it'll show
When you
you
make a
everything
natural 20,
right there.
you automatically hit regardless of your target's defense,
Ah, okay.
and you score a threat. The hit might also be a critical hit, sometimes called a crit. To find out the critical hit, determine the attacker's check total is equal to or greater than the target's
Oh,
defense.
here they are.
My defense. Okay.
Dodge, parry, fortitude, toughness.
If
will.
so, it's a critical
Hold
hit.
that together.
So those are the different things that you can do. So what's he hitting? He got what did you say?
A 28.
28. So yeah, 10 plus, that 16, 14, you can't, but he automatically hits anyways because you critted. So what's the secondary effect of the crit? I was looking over here and I missed that.
His secondary effects of his crit are fast grab and improved hold.
Okay. But
And
then
take down too.
So that's just what happens.
Yeah.
Is he succeeds on his attack, he hits because he
Yeah.
critted.
And the damage is going to be
And so then you'll do a toughness
the
check
damage
against
is 9.
Damage.
Okay.
so 9 plus
So that's
15.
So that 9
So
plus 15
24.
is 24.
So you're making a check with your toughness
Okay.
against 24. You have
Okay.
10 toughness here.
Oh,
12.
not good. 12.
So that's a difference of
So
12.
difference of 12.
So that is a 3rd degree failure, 2nd degree failure.
Ow.
Well, 5, 10.
5 is 1,
so 2.
10 is 2.
Second degree.
but yeah, because you have to do a full
15.
5 before
Yep.
it goes to
So
all
that's
right.
2 degrees.
So
So
you are
You
dazed.
take 2 bruises.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, 2 bruises. You're dazed
And you
until
check
the
the
end
daze.
of their next turn, and
Okay.
it has a -1 circumstance penalty to further checks against damage.
Okay.
So
Oh, all right.
that's
Yeah,
a
you can read that there. It's
-1 penalty
Limited
further
to a
checks against
single
damage.
action per round.
Okay.
Oh.
So that's his first strike. His second open strike, again, he has you, so he's not
Yeah.
even going to try to grab you, and you're grabbed. I don't know what taken. Is that it?
Hmm?
Take down 2.
Takedown
Take down
sounds like a
is a
Sounds like a wrestling move.
sounds like
Yep.
an advantage. Yeah.
That's my territory.
take down 2 is the advantage.
Let's see.
His second attack is going to be on either Jose or on you,
Takedown.
Jose.
If you render
You render a minion incapacitated with an attack. You get an immediate extra attack as a free action against another minion within range,
Oh, funny.
adjacent to the previous target's location.
That's funny. You guys don't have minions, so that doesn't.
but if he has 2 ranks in it, then it counts as to
non-adjacent
No,
minion targets.
It still
all
counts to
minions.
only minions. Yeah.
Yeah,
all
it's a
minions.
minion
Why does he
thing.
have takedown?
Well, it's for
minions?
Yeah.
I think the minions in this case would be the
First would
all
Citizen.
of the citizens or
Yeah,
the
I
generic
agree.
police or
Yeah,
anybody
makes
that's
sense.
not.
First responders,
Okay.
all those kind of things,
Mhm.
right? All right, so now he's going to make his second attack on Jose. I roll a 4 plus close combat plus 8, so that is a 12. Does that even hit you?
You're muted.
It's your dodge or parry plus 10.
You're muted, Rob.
You're still muted.
You're muted, Rob. We can't hear you.
No, it does not. I'm a 16.
Okay, so his second tentacle attack does not hit, and that ends Octoman. We're getting the hang of it. We're getting the hang of it.
Will come.
Yep, Octoman is done. Jordan, you are up.
All right. I want to try a mental blast.
Oh.
Who's in range? I guess. Can I see all these people, including the person with the stop sign that was using people as baseballs?
She's flying up above the group, and the mongoose-looking creature and the octopus looking creature are down on the ground fighting fighting Phyllis and fighting Jose respectively.
I believe you can see all of them.
And you should be able to also see Miyu, who is walked up to the top of a 30-foot staircase that appeared out of nowhere.
Okay. So
In the
it
middle
doesn't
of
give me a range for mental blast.
I believe that it is sight.
Okay.
Yeah.
On that, if I
Well, if I
recall.
can, then
I
I'm
think
gonna
it's
try.
like
I want to do a mental
perception.
blast on stop sign
Yeah.
flying person.
Okay.
You're using the psychic template, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So then that's sight. That's a range of sight.
Okay. Yeah, and it just says you can strike target's minds with mental force, inflicting damage resisted by target's will rather than toughness. DC
Sure.
15 plus rank
So what's your
Uh,
rank in that power?
4.
So it's 19.
So they need to make a toughness defense. Well, a will defense.
A will defense against
So it's
19.
D20 plus their will
Right.
Yep.
versus his 19.
Yep.
Yep.
That's a 16 on die plus 13 is a 29.
Holy cow!
So
13
that
on the
was
will.
pointless. Okay, I guess
No.
I'm done.
So you can kind of you see your mental blasts. They are physical. They ripple the air around them. You get that like kind of heat wobble that you get on the edge of the desert street road. That kind of comes out of you. And when the beam hits the front of her face, you watch some of these floaty plate things kind of go right in front of what you did.
It's nice to know it was not effective at all.
Do you want to take a move?
No.
Want to stay there?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I
think that flying chick is going to be the one that is going to be our kick in the pants.
I would like Jordan to make an insight check for me, please.
$21.
A 21. Okay.
Nice roll.
There's a scream from right behind you, a high-pitched scream of a woman in distress. And as you look over your shoulder, Jordan, you see her looking up at the sky. She's kind of standing in the middle of the street over where you are. She wasn't there a moment ago. You're not sure where she came from, but she's standing like this with her hands outstretched. And about 30 feet above her, you see a baby wrapped in a blanket falling to the earth.
Child endangerment.
Don't you know it?
Super CPS.
Didn't
on
she
the
have children in her tow earlier?
Different. This is a different person.
Okay,
This is just this is a different woman
Just a
standing in the
random-
street screaming, and she's about to catch a baby out of the air.
Do I
Right?
still have? So can I still do anything movement wise?
It's not your turn, but you have a reaction. If you'd like to react to what I just said, you may.
So that didn't. I mean, I don't know if that answered my question. I don't know what I'm allowed to do as a reaction. Sorry, I have no clue what I'm doing at all.
Just say you do it as a reaction. Make him decide.
Okay, I'm gonna try and cast levitation on the baby as a reaction so it doesn't die.
That's nice.
That's kind of you.
Want to do something?
Reaction.
Mostly it's because you don't want to have to clean it up later, right?
The difference between a free action and conscious choice. May only characters can act. Reaction can occur even when it's not your turn. Some powers and other traits are usable reactions. Reactions. So I
What
think
It's basic. I thought it was like almost the same as a standard action, but you only get one of them on somebody else's turn. But I might be misunderstanding.
It's more like it's the same as a free action, but you get it on someone else's turn. Unless your power has the reactive boon attached to it, the trait that's you can set something up as a reaction in your power.
Can you move as a reaction?
I don't think so. That's a good question.
I know that there was some advantage that a
There might
previous
be an
version of my
advantage for
character
it.
that had the ability to, as a reaction, he could get like a bodyguard shot. So like somebody got hit, I could, as a reaction, get in front of that and then take the hit.
Yeah. Right. I remember reading that. That is something you'd have to buy though. So I don't know if he has anything like that. You can check your power descriptions too, Mark, and see if you've got anything that's listed as having a reaction on it.
Okay. The voice that you heard before says, "Oh, the insolence of you to stand before the dark wizard. I will make you pay." And he comes from behind the cover of this art thing that he's been kind of hiding behind. He
There he is.
circles around, and what you see is he looks like a young teenage boy. He has his hair cut so it's down over one eye in a straight sort of fashion. He's wearing a black high-collared coat that is billowing behind him. And he's wearing like a dark satin shirt with gold little runes, little like Tolkien-y kind of runes. And you actually see that he's wearing a branded belt buckle of the fantasy that, it would be basically the equivalent of the dragon ampersand on his belt buckle. And he flies up and has his little emo monologue, and then he is going to fire an energy blast down on the group. This is an area attack. He rolls once, and then it's applied to everybody
Everyone
who's
rolls
affected by it.
defenses.
Yep. So the energy blast comes at only a 17.
So you're looking at dodge. You have
What happened to the baby?
area? Baby's still falling.
Yeah, baby's still falling. You can't do levitate as a reaction. Like, if you wanted to, I would.
No, it's fine. I missed the whole part that I couldn't do it. Sorry.
Yeah, it was close enough to you. She's right behind you, right? It's close enough to you where if you said as a reaction, I'm just going to pivot. So I'm going to be the one who catches the baby instead of her. I would totally
No,
accept
it's fine. I just I missed that. So I just
Yeah.
felt like we thought, okay.
So
unless-
that's your plan. You want to grab the baby.
You said I can't, so it's fine.
No, I said you could pivot yourself so that you could catch the baby when it falls.
Not as if you're not a monster.
So he's saying you can use a reaction to get a
Position.
to try and move towards it,
Right.
rather than like just watching it and being like, yeah, that's nice.
That's a
Okay.
free action.
Right. A reposition, but not a move,
Right.
basically.
So you put yourself in a position where you can catch it. Okay. All right, cool. So Lord Etheric fires down this energy blast. It would affect you, it would affect Jose, it would affect affect Phyllis.
Yeah, it did.
I think you're far enough away.
Yeah, my dodge is only 12.
And
so-
I think that
Yeah.
yeah. So I think Steve's the only one who is far enough away. So he hits a 17.
Yeah. Yes.
So dodge plus 10.
Mhm.
If he hit you,
Oh.
it is an area psychic. Oh, no, it's an area energy blast. It does area damage 8. So
Okay.
15 plus 8 is a 23 versus your toughness to see if it affects you.
What kind of energy does it say?
It doesn't. It doesn't. It just says energy blast.
'Cause some of the stuff I'm immune to is the problem.
His other powers are range perception. It just says energy blast, range perception, area damage 8 selective.
So I'm gonna take-
Ether manipulation. Ether?
Yeah, so it's ether is the tag on it.
Yeah, I'm guessing ether is not what I'm immune to. Okay, great.
So I'm dazed. I get hit with 2 for 2
Okay.
and make shrieky noises.
Remember that you're making your defense roll at a -1 because you got dazed last round.
Oh, then
And
I'm 23. So I rolled a 13 plus 11 for toughness.
Which would be 10.
do you get
Okay.
We don't roll, right?
we do roll on the
On the
damage
toughness.
to avoid
Okay, then I
damage.
definitely
Oh,
got
okay.
I'm a little confused though about the bruises. Do you get 1 bruise per failure degree, or does that just trigger the little extra failure like thing?
The extra bonuses.
right,
The
like,
extra penalty.
Is it just 1 hit, 1 bruise, or
I
is
think that's the way it works. 1 hit, 1 bruise, and if it's a serious hit, then it goes down the scale.
okay?
Okay.
That would make sense. So you can remove.
doesn't
I mean,
even
it'd be at
talk
2
about
now
bruises.
because you got hit once and now you got hit again.
It doesn't even talk about bruises.
Yeah,
in the,
1 or 2 more.
player's guide.
No, you're good.
Already.
You got hit.
So how much was he doing for damage to get through our toughness?
Dazed again.
It was
I'm
8,
still dazed,
so the
I
roll is 23.
Okay, so he didn't get by my toughness. Okay,
Defensive.
You were successful. You were more
Yes.
than 23. All right.
24.
Where's
So that is a success, which means no
Where's
damage.
Jack?
It's weird because in the player's guide, it doesn't talk about bruises at all. At least
Really?
it's not listed in the index,
Huh.
unless it's listed in the body of the text, but isn't.
I'm
Mhm.
looking for some of this stuff. There are a lot of complaints that there are implications of carryover in rules from second edition that were assumed and really didn't get the
Oh,
commentary in third edition that they should have, because people were working from an assumed sort of knowledge base.
that's frustrating when they do that.
Control general effects, checks, sensory movement powers that aren't noticing power effects.
Resistance, ongoing effects, conditions, action.
Bruiser.
It's kind of hard to find stuff in this book.
Yeah, I don't see anything in here. Like specifically looking up Control F bruise. I have nothing.
Yeah.
Really, it doesn't
Nothing.
show up at all in the book.
Nothing. I'm getting bruiser as in
Yeah.
fighters. But that's all I've got.
What?
Yeah, so what is a bruise exactly?
It's a damage effect. It's like when you get damaged, I guess. Here, let's read the damage power effect.
Okay.
You can inflict damage on type. The target resists with toughness.
Strength is a built-in because the way they do it is strength is a built-in damage effect. The damage has no effect. Failure by 1 degree. The target has a -1 circumstance penalty to further resistance checks against damage. Okay, so and those are
I think
cumulative.
degrees
I
are
see.
bruises.
So it is. So it's each time. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
So
degrees
the
are bruises.
1 degree of failure is a bruise.
Right. 2 degrees is 2 bruises. 3 degrees is 3 bruises. 4
I don't,
degrees.
I don't think so.
You sure?
Yeah, because so when you have so 2 degrees of failure is both 1 degree of failure and whatever 2 degrees of failure is. So 1 degree of failure is that you get -1 circumstance penalty to further resistance checks against damage.
Yeah.
Plus 2 degrees, you are dazed until the end of the next turn and have a -1 circumstance penalty to further checks against damage. Okay,
Right.
so I guess it would.
And the bruise is separately a negative.
A negative
2 is -1 all by itself,
negative
right?
1 by itself.
To everything.
No, to circumstance penalty to further resistance checks to avoid damage. It's all just against damage. So basically they're calling a bruise a 1 degree of failure. Because dazed, okay, so it is, it's 1 degree per, it's 1 degree per, or sorry, 1 bruise per degree of failure.
Right.
And then in addition to that, you have the check boxes for the temporary effects.
So if you individually, if you take 4 attacks that give you 4 bruise, it incapacitates you. If you take 1 attack that
Well, they
gives you
only
4
last
bruises,
so long.
it incapacitates you.
So
Right.
No, if you
2 degrees of failure, the target is dazed until the end of their next turn. So that would go away.
Right.
So it wouldn't stack.
But you don't lose the bruise.
You don't lose the bruise.
The bruise stays
But
until.
the bruise is just the penalty to your resistance against
That's right.
damage.
But 4 bruises, either
Gives you-
individually or all at once, incapacitates
Not
you.
individually.
no, not individually.
Have to be all at once.
Where do you see?
Because all that a bruise is a -1 to your damage resistance check. That's it. So if you
Now,
have,
if you've taken a sequential number of bruises, say 5, and that lowers, it's going to make it easier and easier to make you incapacitated.
right, so like if you anytime that you make 4 degrees of failure, then you become incapacitated. So the longer you get punched, the harder and harder it is to not get 4 degrees of failure. And eventually it's basically guaranteed you're going to get hit with something that you fail by 4 degrees and become incapacitated.
Yeah.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah, which is basically how they make their hit points work.
Yeah. So
Right.
it's just a ramping effect
Right.
that makes it feel a little more cinematic.
Okay.
Which I kind of like as I think about it.
All right.
It's not a bad system.
So,
So then you failed by 2
Lord
degrees.
Theory again
That would be 1
shoots
more.
his
One
beam
more.
down
Okay.
on you.
Yeah.
The damage against your toughness was a 23. So resolve your toughness resistance
Yeah.
to a 23.
Yeah, and I did that already. I got 2 degrees of failure
2 degrees.
and have become dazed.
Oh, so I'm now
2 degrees,
staggered.
2 bruises, and dazed.
No, because you became dazed. That's the first time you've been hit.
No, this is the
By
second time I've
but only for 2nd degree though. The first time you only got hit by 1 degree.
Okay.
This
Okay.
time you got hit by 2nd degree, so you became dazed.
Okay.
And that lasts until the end of your next turn.
Okay.
So she's carrying 3 bruises.
3 bruises,
Right.
and is dazed. I have
2 bruises.
2 bruises, and I also have a feature on my protection power which throws me backwards
Oh,
when I get hit.
okay.
I go half the distance of the attack's rank, so I get knocked off my platform.
Okay.
And that's
It
resistance.
stays,
That's resistance that's always on.
Yeah,
your
it's always
character?
on. I just get
That's
anytime
cool.
I get hit, I go
That's funny.
yeah, just get knocked way across the room. It has nothing to do with the attacker's powers. It's just
No, I like
you
that.
have like a video game reactive.
video game
weapon.
reactive. Yeah, just like you hit me and I.
All right.
Fine.
Top of the order brings us back to Steve.
But I have safe fall, so I don't get damaged from falling.
Okay, so I'm still a ways out.
You are a ways out. Make
I can get there in this round.
make an awareness check to start. You popped back to kind of the original starting place in the middle of the road, looking down Yellow Brick Road, which doesn't put you in line of sight, but you do have skyline access. You can see what's going on there. and there are some flyers and some energy dischargers. So start with an awareness so we can see what you can see.
Awareness or
Perception.
perception?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess for my character, it doesn't make a difference. 18 total.
An 18. Okay. So I think it's fair to say that you are hearing the electrical discharges and you are seeing like the flashes on the tops of buildings and on the sides of buildings. You don't have a straight shot of what's going on, but you certainly have bearings based on where you're seeing crap happen. Crap happen.
Crap happened. Okay, I'm going to
Here at Crap Happen Farms.
run that direction.
Okay.
Using my super speed, my velocity.
Okay.
And I'm going to, what I was hoping is I would run along, I would see the stairwell that is just randomly floating there. I was going to run up over it and kind of dive over Mew, I can't remember your name. Mew.
Think of a cat.
But Mew is not there anymore, so just kind of jump from there and attack one of the two guys with a supersonic punch.
Okay. On the ground level, you have the Octo guy or the Mongoose girl to choose from.
Okay.
Up in the air.
Let's do the Octo guy.
Okay.
He seems, I don't know. So that's what I'll do.
Okay.
So that is, how does multi-attack work? So I got that as a,
It lets you make multiple attack rolls.
how many and against how many people?
Each rank gives you an extra attack.
Okay, so let me see what I actually, how many ranks.
And it can be either against a different target or it can be against the same target.
Supersonic punch. It's so
what's
the
your
way
attack rank?
so it multi-attack rank is the same number of ranks as my power, so it's 10. So does that mean I get 10 attacks?
Is that the
No.
no? Is
No way.
is that the
So there's
rank
that's
multi-attack or the rank or the cost per rank?
there's not a per rank, there's just multi.
So let's see. I've got multi-attack. Let's read it. Multi-attack in the same multi-attack can apply to any effect requiring an attack check. Can single target, multiple targets, or there's a covering attack. That's not helpful.
Yeah, it's not helpful at all. That's why I'm like,
Let's find it in the book.
It's an advantage.
It's a modifier.
it's a modifier to powers.
Multi-attack. A multi-attack.
60
Multiple
of them.
targets. You can use multi-attack to hit multiple targets at once by walking or spraying the multi-attack across an arc. Roll one attack check per target in the arc. You suffer a penalty to each check equal to the total number of targets. So making multi-attack against 5 targets is a -5 penalty to each attack check.
Okay.
So I see. Okay, so I was wrong. It's not it's not once per rank. It's based on the number you try to hit. You get a -5. You get a -1 per extra target that you attempt to hit with your multi-attack, and that is an infinitely growing number.
Okay. Okay. So if there were all a bunch of minions that were super easy to hit, then you could maybe take out a bunch of them all at once.
Yep.
So I will try to attack both of them. No, I'll try and attack just one multiple times. That's what I'll do.
That's a single target. You make your attack check normally. If successful, increase the attack's resistance check DC by +2 for 2 degrees of success and +5 for 3 or more.
So you only make one attack roll?
So you make one attack roll, and then based on how much you succeed in your attack, it becomes harder for them to resist damage. Got it?
Okay, so yeah,
The
so
number
I
of
roll.
attacks is irrelevant. It's just the idea is you're walking
It's
up. going,
thematic. Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
it glosses over it.
Yeah.
I hit him 50 times. Yeah, okay. How much do you use? Does your degree of success is what counts in your roll.
Okay, so I rolled a die, then I add my power. What do I add to this?
Well, you're making an attack, so
Yeah.
you roll your die and you add your attack bonus for that attack, which would be a skill, close combat most likely, if you're
Okay.
attacking from up close.
Okay.
So you add, you roll your die, you add your close combat attack, and you're trying to beat their dodge or parry.
21.
Okay, I got 21. Do I have to beat it?
So 21 will hit, but you don't get any.
So I think let me check. I think that
It's
I
only
have
1 degree of
accurate on
success
that.
if you do that. So you'll hit, but you won't do extra damage from multi-attack, basically. Or you won't reduce their resistance check for multi-attack because you only got 1 degree of success, which is from 0 to 5.
So accurate, that adds 2 plus 2 per accurate. I have 2 ranks in that. I
That's
assume
plus
that
2
that
to hit.
plus 2 to hit, right? So that would have made my roll
Right.
19
That
plus
still wouldn't bring you
6, which would be 25, which wouldn't be enough.
Yeah.
you're 1 point away from 2 degrees.
So you hit him.
You hit him.
I hit him.
He has to make a.
He still has to make
toughness check,
the defense check
Yeah.
against your hit.
but
Yeah.
he doesn't have any penalties for
Right.
multi-attack.
And your damage for your punch would have been what?
It's 25.
25. So he has a 25 DC.
The damage is 25?
15 plus your rank.
Oh, 10.
So
Okay.
Wait, 10?
And it's 10 plus 15.
no, but you can't have a power rank of more than the power level of the campaign, which is 8.
Oh, I guess I did because we said that we were starting at 10 and backing out the PowerPoints.
Right. But there are other limits still. One of which being-
Yeah, so I guess I did it as
yeah, so
as
you just
10
gotta,
and then-
gotta reduce the power level of that ability, that's all.
okay.
'Cause
To
it can't be higher than 8.
Okay.
It's one of the restrictions of the power level. Hero Lab should complain to you about
Yeah,
that.
it should be showing
Well,
up.
and that's where it's probably was my fault because I put it in as 10 and they gave me 150 points and then I backed out 30 points.
Did you set your character's level down to 8 though, or did you just back out the points?
I just backed out the points because I
Got
thought
it. So
that's
why
what
it's
we
not
were told.
That's
Yeah.
why it's not complaints.
Yeah.
If you go into the hero configuration, you can
configure hero.
set it to PL8, and
Yep.
then it'll throw errors at you because of
Yep.
the.
And it'll
Because
like-
there are other things that change also, like there are limits to your strength and toughness
Okay.
total modifiers based on as well as to the amount of damage that you can do and stuff.
Okay.
The Hero Lab should figure it all out for you and bitch at you about those particular things.
Okay. So for this one specifically, then it is
Should be 8 plus 15, so 23.
23
So he's making a
So-
toughness against DC 23.
plus.
Yeah.
That's
7 plus 8.
15. So that is
So 23
degree. That's
minus
1.
15, 1 degree.
Yeah.
So
So he takes a bruise,
he takes a bruise.
and he's -1 on his defenses from the hit.
Yeah.
All right. So Octi takes a bruise.
Learning a
Takes a
system.
bruise.
Man.
yeah, seriously. And now I've got to like
You got to rejigger all your points, huh?
yeah, I got to rejigger because I'm sure that's not the only one that had that issue.
Yeah. No, it takes. So look for. Here's a hint.
So the
once-
maximum power I can have on any power is 8.
is
Yeah.
8. No power can have a higher power rank than your power level.
What about advantages and what about skills? You
Same
can't-
with
you can't go- yeah.
advantages.
Eight's the max.
I think skills might not be affected, but I'm not certain about that. And then if you go over to your abilities tab, something else just to keep an eye on, look down at the defenses section. And if you see anything with a little up and down purple arrow, that's something that Hero Lab is basically saying, you messed up. This is too high. I've made it lower for you. You're welcome. So you can either just use the number that's there, or you can also go into your powers and like try to figure out where that's coming from. and reduce it, which is a good idea because you'll get those points back to then put them somewhere else. But it can be kind of hard to find them because it doesn't tell you where it comes from. It's just like, yeah,
Okay,
you know,
I adjusted my power level down, or yeah, my power level down to 8 from 10. Let's
and your
see if
your
I can
character's
track
marked as a
down.
PC, right?
I don't know that I see where I mark it as a PC or not. I
In
see
your-
it says
in
an
your
ally of
config,
party and a
if you go to
configure
If
hero.
you go to config, if you go to
Yeah.
configure, it's the first purple box. It says
Create PC. Yes.
PC. That's good. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you're set.
And an ally of party.
Yep.
Yep.
The difference between is being that if it's an NPC, then Hero Lab ignores some of the limits based on power level. So you want to make sure it's set to PC so that it will tell you where you've gone wrong.
All right. The woman with the stop sign will fly up into the air a little higher. She will pick up a car, an SUV actually, and she will drop it on Steve.
She's picking it up remotely.
Yeah, just
Like- Psychic power.
he does a Magneto.
Magneto, yeah.
So this is an attack against your dodge. 17 plus 8 is going to be a 28. Yeah. 25. Sorry. A 25 versus your dodge.
Just versus, or do I roll?
You got it right.
It's your dodge plus 10.
Yeah. It's the DC.
Yeah, it's the DC.
So I don't roll. I just give you the DC, right?
Right.
Okay,
It's equivalent to
11.
your armor class. What's that?
11.
Okay, so that will hit, and now his damage effect is 10, so that's a 25
Right, so
versus
now-
your toughness.
So now you're making a toughness defense.
Now you're making a defense roll to see how effective it was against a 20.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
That's the weird part. Roll to hit versus a static.
And then
Roll toughness
right.
active
Well,
to see.
each party gets to roll, right?
Right.
That's the way they said it. So first the attacker rolls, and then the defender rolls. So everybody gets to roll. I like that. It's
Got
a
it.
nice like two sides of the same coin kind
Yeah,
of thing. You know,
Yeah,
nobody's just like standing there getting wailed on and not rolling.
I gotta turn the heater on. It's fucking cold in here. Fucking cold in here.
It's getting cold in here, so put on more layers.
I'm using my laptop bag as like a blanket.
What kind of charger do you need?
What's that?
Is it like USB-C or what kind of charger you need? What kind of laptop is it?
Oh, I don't need a laptop charger. I have my own.
Oh,
No, I'm using my laptop bag as a blanket.
oh,
Polyester. Yeah. Man-made material is very warming. Yeah, acrylic skirt here.
Track the air real nicely.
Oh, yes, that's even better.
I'm
Perfect. I love it. Crochet.
Yeah.
All right, you chatty Cathy's 10-minute warning.
Grandma love.
Okay.
12 minutes, says the pedant. 1448.
It's a 17 on my toughness.
So 17 versus what was that?
25.
25.
It was
So
one
that's-
single rank.
Yeah.
18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yeah. Oh no, that's
17.
so
plus
27 would have
10
been
would be
2.
27.
Yeah.
So,
So
not
it's
bad. So
it's a 1
rank.
degree. So you take a bruise. Yeah, which is the -1 circumstance penalty. So
Right. Yep. One
Yep.
bruise. Ow.
so you take 1 bruise.
Okay.
From dropping a car on your head. She's done. And that brings us to Jose. Jose.
Alrighty. I'm going to turn around and I'm
Yep.
going to all out attack and power attack this thing behind me.
Oh, Mongoose, yeah.
who I believe did an all-out attack on me. So she's at -5.
Mhm.
So that should affect both my hit and my damage.
She's at -5 for what?
All out attacking.
Because she's
She
fainting.
used all-out attack against me last turn. I haven't gone yet. She hasn't gone again yet.
Oh, you're saying when she all out attacks you, she takes a -5 penalty?
Yeah, that's what the negative is.
I didn't know there was a negative.
Well, if there wasn't, then you just do it all the time, right? All out attack. Reads.
So that is a 9 plus, I believe.
So when you all out attack, you can take a penalty of up to -2 on your active defenses and add the same number up to 2 to your attack bonus.
Unless you've got the advantage, which allows you to.
So you have the advantage in which
I have the advantage, allows you to go to -5.
so it depends on how much bonus she took on her attack is how much
Well, you
penalty.
said it was 5, so I'm guessing she
Okay.
must have the ability.
Right, no, but you still get to decide how much of a penalty you want to take. Right, it's a range. It's up to -5 and up to +5.
I agree, but when she did it to me, it
I
was she
gave her
got the
no
initial
bonus.
5 out of it.
You didn't
I
give
gave
her a
her
bonus
I
to
gave her
attack.
no bonuses to attack. I just gave her more attacks in the round.
That's
So-
a
Oh,
multi-attack.
okay.
So she took a multi-attack, not a
She has both.
right, but they're different things. So multi-attack would mean that if it just depends on which one she's using. I mean, because she could use them at the same time.
Oh, I can.
Here's
Interesting.
multi-attack. I didn't know all out
But
attack
A
added
mul- so a
bonuses.
multi-attack it on a single target changes the damage or the increases the DC of the resistance check based on the degrees of success of the attack.
Oh,
against
you're reading what? Hold on.
multi-attack that which is
Okay.
what she used.
Right, because I can see that Hero Lab has made an error when it's described power attack and all-out attack.
Okay.
It's wrong. Power attack changes the effect, the damage. All-out attack changes the plus to hit.
That's what mine says under auto attack. Unless
I
you're
think if you
looking
read
at
them,
the
you'll
advantages.
see that you'll see it says the same thing. It makes them the same.
Oh, I don't have. Oh, there's power attack. Oh. Okay. Oh, I see. So all out attack is actually the power attack.
All attack is the one to hit. Power attack increases your damage.
I see. But they follow the same mechanics.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway, so ultimately on all of that,
And all it comes down to is that she doesn't have any minuses and you're attacking.
Her dodge
well,
is 21.
if she doesn't, then she doesn't. I'm doing it anyway.
Her dodge is
so-
21.
All right, my underarmed is 8 plus 5 is 13, and a 9 is 22. So I rolled a 22 to hit.
So that will hit.
What's your damage?
Where do I find the damage?
Damage is your attack power rank. If you're using strength, then it is your strength, and then you add 15 to that.
So that's 28.
So 28. So
Wait, can't be that high.
Yeah,
plus
it can.
15. Sure, it can. You have super strength.
Oh, I thought power levels couldn't be higher than 8.
Yeah, but then you add the strength.
Right. So strength, if you have power strength, like power strength,
Yeah.
it adds to your regular strength. You basically just increase your strength level.
I see.
And then plus 15.
So 25 versus her toughness, right? roll plus-
She rolls a toughness check against that D.
Okay. So that is a 12.
All right. So
So
that would be 2
she
ranks.
is going to be dazed with 2 bruises.
Right.
And now I
Damage.
follow up immediately with that with a free improved grab.
Nice.
And so the way that I understand, hold on, wrong book.
We're going to need commenters to tell us exactly where we messed up these rules.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's lots. Grab. Make an attack check against the target. If successful, the target makes a resistance check against your strength. So I guess I have to roll again.
Yeah, so it's the same as
And that happens automatically when you hit.
Yeah,
Because
it's
he has an advantage.
It's the advantage. It's what my dude is designed to do.
Nice thing about this game, honestly, is that every single like piece is identical in the sense that the grab is literally just an affliction power attack.
This
Yeah.
isn't going to be successful. I rolled a 3, so I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah, but you can use a hero point. You can use a hero point to re-roll a roll.
We start with 1.
Oh,
You start with 1, yeah.
Well, I get a second attack though. Do I not,
a-
or do I only get 1 attack?
Well, you're getting your 1 grab, right? Do you have
Yeah, that's the grabs are free.
right? Do you have multi-attack?
No, I don't. So I only get 1 attack. Is that the way that
Yeah,
works?
so
Okay.
so the way that multi-attack and multiple attacks work in this game
Mhm.
is that you don't actually make multiple attacks. You don't roll multiple times like in Pathfinder. It just changes the DCs of things.
Oh, okay. I thought these guys
What
were
if you
rolling a
have
couple of
multiple
times. So
weapons?
anyway,
It doesn't matter. It's
All right,
that's
anyway.
it's aesthetic.
It's
I,
either
I
or.
beat them with 2 weapons. Yeah,
It's
okay, who
either or.
cares?
Okay.
all right. So I don't think it's going to work, but maybe. So that is a 3 plus an unarmed is 11. So it's an 11 to hit.
Her parry
So
is
that's-
21.
So resistance check against my strength, which is if I hit. No, make an attack check if successful. I don't know. So her parry
It wasn't.
does 11 hit.
No.
No, it doesn't.
No. Okay, so the grab doesn't work. So she's taking whatever damage she took.
She's
She's
dazed, into
dazed
2
and I'm
bruises,
done.
no grab. Okay, got it.
Hold on. Her dodge or her parry, whatever, is one of it dependent on being able to actively resist? Like because she got hit, does that affect that or not?
Oh.
And would that penalty from that getting hit affect the grab?
Dazed does not affect your resistance.
A dazed character is limited to a single standard action. This reduces your number of actions. That's all.
Right.
So anyway,
All right.
all right,
So
didn't work. Move on.
dazed, bruised, not grabbed. Jose's done.
Pretty minute mark.
So being dazed means they get a
1
move,
action per turn.
move
turn.
or an act, but
Yeah.
not both.
One action per turn, whichever one they decide to take.
Or
They get a single standard action, they may use that action to perform a move or a free action as usual.
Okay, can I use my move because I haven't taken it yet to get
Yep.
myself behind her?
All right.
Sort of
She-
duck season, rabbit season thing, so I don't have Dr. Octopus try and grab me here.
She is, yeah, I mean, you can move about, sure. She is going to use her jumping power, leaping 4. She's going to jump 120 feet away.
Boing.
Boing, and jumps down, hurdles over a building, and drops down between 2 buildings. And she's done because that's all
Not
she
like
can
that.
do. No, she did not like that. Mew,
Okay, I'm gonna pick myself up and dust myself
leaping
off.
4. Shit.
And I'm going to turn on the is that doing the calculations right? I think so. I'm gonna turn over to the floaty guy who just threw fire at all of us or whatever it was.
Lordy Fury.
Lordy Fury. And I am going to
My favorite band is Typo Nation.
no.
oh my god.
I'm going to produce a let's see, what would it be here? Like a facsimile of a girding structure will appear above him and just fall down towards him.
Cool.
That's a create effect with the drop, which it has a toughness of 4, so he would need to make a dodge against the, I think it's the toughness of the thing counts as it's like DC, if I recall correctly. Let me see. I should find that. Hero Lab doesn't give the full write-up, which is really annoying. Where's the create power?
So
Yeah,
it looks like only the attack things that cause damage have the built-in limitation of 8. At least in Hero Lab. So I only get that error on.
Oh, okay. I mean, maybe I remembered it wrong. I thought that's
I don't know. I need to dig through the rules now because maybe
it's
it was
in the
just
rules under the power level section. It's right there, so you should be able to find it fairly easy. I thought that it was power ranks generally. But
I'll do that while you guys figure
dropping
out.
objects. The object inflicts damage. Okay, area effect attack. Yeah, it's treated like an area effect attack. Based on the object's size, and I'm using its 4 ranks of volume. It's so it's rank 4 in size. So it's an area effect attack based on that, which I guess I'm making a roll plus the effect rank. Is that how area effect attacks work? Yeah, because dodge is static, so I have to make a roll. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 plus his dodge against my roll plus 4. So that would be a 21.
That is equal to his dodge
So
plus 10.
so it'll hit, but he won't. But at 1, or it'll hit, right? Because I believe you have to match or succeed to hit, and then he makes a toughness against 19. And he crits.
And he crits.
So if he crits, that means what when it comes to toughness defenses?
That's a 30 for his toughness.
30. Okay, so he easily
So it's a
passes
so
19.
it's a success.
He doesn't
so
get hurt.
He doesn't get hurt.
But he's still underneath a large thing, so either it's going to have to fall off of him or it's going to push him to the ground. I don't know. I think that's just your call. Can he hold up the weight of 250 cubic feet of girdering?
Well, he has so manifestation.
It's about a
create
ton per
continues.
cubic foot.
Manifestation is a create power as well,
It's
isn't it?
that's the name of the create power.
Oh, all right.
So manifestation is the name for his power, which is create that has continuous on
So
it.
he has continuous create 8.
Okay,
But that doesn't
help him
necessarily.
in this instance.
Impervious protection.
Impervious
immunity
protection
10.
adds to his toughness.
Oh, does it?
That's what protection does, is it gives you more toughness. And then impervious means that if like there's
So
something,
he is
so he's
flying.
uninjured. Yeah, he's uninjured. The question is mechanically, does he get pushed to the ground? Does
No,
he
I think he would just.
under it?
I think he would just fly to the side because he's a perfect flyer. So I
Okay,
think.
great.
I think it
So
would
it
just.
it bonks
make
him on the
contact with
like
it,
slips
and
out
just
of
kinda
it,
slip out to the
crashes to
side.
the ground, and yeah, hits the ground and crumbling to pieces.
Yep.
And I glare at him.
Okay. We've got a few to wrap the round. Phyllis is
So
up.
I'm dazed, so I can't do anything else.
Okay,
That was one action.
so I'm dazed, so I only have one action.
So you can use an action or a move or whatever. Yep.
So I'm gonna power attack. So it says power attack +2. We make a power
Against Octoman.
against Octoman because he's still
Right, and this
Okay.
one's Rob pointed out that this reading was wrong.
okay.
Power attack is the same thing except for damage instead of attack bonus.
Okay, assuming I hit him then.
Supposedly.
And Octoman has 1 bruise, which means his dodge goes down by 1.
Okay, that's
Right.
helpful.
Not his dodge, his
toughness.
His toughness.
Right. It's his ability to receive damage. So
Yeah.
his dodge stays the same. All right.
Yeah.
So you are attacking a dodge 19.
If he was dazed, though, he would take a penalty on the dodge, right?
No. Days.
Daze just nukes his action economy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I've got a 6 plus shit, good question.
So you're making an attack, a close combat attack, unarmed. That's right there. +6.
Plus 6 and 6 is 12, which means I probably failed
So-
that.
And you could burn if you want to use your hero point since we're really close to end of
the end,
session.
so you could use
You
a hero
could use a
point.
hero point
Just
to.
re-roll. I can re-roll it.
Is it a
You
reroll
can
or is it advanced?
add a bonus.
Can you do that?
You're 3 shy of a hit. So if you can use a hero point to get 3.
Perform one check with a bonus to improve an existing bonus to a major +5 circumstance points. Sports can also negate a
That would do it.
penalty.
So yeah, improve an
So-
existing bonus to a major bonus. Plus
A +5 circumstance bonus would do it. You have a difference
perform
of
one
3.
check with a bonus, or improve an existing bonus to a major bonus.
So her attack bonus being +6,
It's hard
it
to-
would turn into a +11 with a circumstance bonus of 5, which would be a hit.
Perform one check with
Or
a
you can
bonus.
retry.
Or yeah, you can either take the +5 and hit, or you can re-roll and attempt a crit.
Oh, I'm not gonna crit. Not today. I'm rolling absolute garbage.
Okay,
Um,
so
well,
then your
I'm happy
damage
to take-
is then how much is your damage?
Great question.
Damage is going to be your strength because you're just punching him, right? So it's going to be your strength plus 15.
Okay,
So 8
8
plus
and 15 is
So 23.
23. Yeah,
All right, so 23 against Octopus's
and I'm no longer dead.
toughness -1 because he's got a bruise.
Yep,
So his toughness is a 6 instead of a 7, and he rolls a 10. So that is a 16. You did how much damage? 25?
23.
23. So that is 1 more bruise. So he takes a bruise. Boom. Octo bruise. 2 bruises. Okay. Done? You're not going to move, right?
Just can't.
No, I
Yeah.
can't.
Oh, that's
Dazed.
right. That's right.
No longer dazed.
All right. 2 bruises for Octo. All right. He's gonna do the same thing. He had two minions in his hands, and he's gonna squish the other 2 minions, freeing up his 4 hands to attack. But he doesn't get 4 attacks in the round, right? He just gets to do
He
a
can make a multi.
Unless he splits it to 4 different people.
Right, but even then, he's not making multiple
So
attacks.
He's
It's-
got benefit ambidexterity, fast grab, improved grab, improved.
Oh, that's true. You just take penalties and then apply that to all 4 of them. If he was taking 4 attacks, let's say.
I'll find it and read it again, but I believe that is.
So it's the multi, but
Multi-attack.
he doesn't have multi
Then he
attack.
can't multi attack.
So
Then he can only 1 attack. So how is he attacking 2 minions at the same time?
Well, check. Does he have an extra arms or something?
He has 4 extra limbs.
Okay, so we need to read extra limbs. Let's look here. Extra limbs. What does it say? Extra limbs do not allow you to take additional actions in a round.
What is it?
But if he's got improved hold, he only needs 1 hand or 1 arm to grab one of these bad guys. So he could use multiple arms. to do
So
things.
extra limbs, if you use all of your limbs, it allows you to gain a circumstance bonus on grabs. That's all it does mechanically.
And it's a +4 circumstance bonus because you
Right,
have 4
Up
limbs.
to +5.
Oh wow.
is the max.
Okay. Benefit ambidextrous means he can attack.
Means that
Mostly flavor.
your limbs are not considered offhand. So if you are giving offhand penalties to, doing whatever, then but yeah, unless his extra limbs has the multi-attack modifier on it, he can't actually take multiple. He can't make use of the multi-attack.
It
thing.
is not listed on
Yeah.
this little.
So he
this
can't
little-
attack multiple times. He can just grab good.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's more limited than it seems like it would be, but it's only a 1 point advantage or power for each extra limb. So if he has 4 extra limbs, then he's paid 4 points for +4 grab, basically.
So the limit on power level is the attack and the effect added together cannot be more than twice the series power. So
That's
if we're
one
power,
of them, but there's another thing for power ranks themselves, I thought. Let me find it.
So with his
yeah, I don't
fast
see
grab-
anything about it.
He can attack and grab with one action.
There's the little power ranks thing. For some reason, it's always really hard for me to find it. Every time I look.
Well, the attack is an action and the grabs are free. So yes, it amounts to that.
Versus bystander's strength or dodge of 0. Oh, against them. All right, all right. So he started with 3 of them,
Power
and
level.
all he can do is let them go, I suppose. But for effect, he's still killing them. I don't care.
Yeah, it's cinematic anyways. Just
No, if
kill the
he's got
minions.
if he's got improved hold, he can continue to choke them or do his strength damage to them,
And then use the other
and
arm.
use his free hand to continue to attack.
Yeah.
That's what improved hold does.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's gonna make his one attack. He can attack anyone except for Jordan. I don't think you are in melee range of it, and I think everyone else kind of is at the moment. So let's see. One, two, three. Miu. You have. Where are you relative to Octoman?
I just went. Oh, it's
No,
just
you're being
looking at-
attacked,
Oh,
yeah.
relative to Octoman.
Relative to Octoman? You were at the
I
stairs.
was
You
on the
got blown
staircase. I
back
got blown off of them. I'm not that far away. I don't know. I'm
close enough
probably-
that he could reach you.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay.
With arms like those.
All right, he's gonna go for an unarmed strike against you
Okay.
at a +8. That's an
An
18.
unarmed strike with his arms.
With his tentacle, with his not arms.
and
We have to
8
bear that in
An
mind.
18.
against my dodge is going to hit.
Okay. Damage is 8, so the roll is 23 versus your toughness.
Where's my toughness? It's 5. 3, that's 22. Oh, so close.
So that's a bruise
That's bruise.
and a grab.
Okay. So he needs to roll a grab.
Does he?
It's just another attack.
And improved grab just bonuses that up.
Yeah. There should be a grab like thing. Like, if he gets bonus to it, then it should tell you what the bonus is to grab.
It doesn't.
Oh.
Yeah, it just says fast grab, improved hold, startle.
So
pick
that
up
might
two.
that might be that he just gets a grab as a free rather than it. But he gets a bonus for his arms, right? He has a +4 on his grab.
He does.
So it's a close combat.
So that would be that'd be +12. So 3 + 12 is a 15
15
versus your
versus my dodge, which would hit.
dodge. All right.
And then he's got me grabbed. What does that do? It probably immobilizes me or hinders me. I don't know what grab does.
Let's see. 16, 17. Condition. There's another term. There's conditions, but there's also another term like grab gives you the blank condition.
Right.
There's another list, but I don't know where that list is to be found. You know what I mean? Like what turns the action into the condition?
An affliction. Affliction is the power that is the effect that makes
No, but I'm
people take
saying,
conditions.
okay, you've been grabbed. What's
Right.
the condition of grab? Is it immobilized? Is it
well, since it's a
is it-
whole like separate mechanic, there should be something on it under like actions or something, I would think.
improved hold, improved grab, make grab attacks with one arm, not vulnerable while grabbing. Improved hold, -5 circumstance penalty to escape from holds. I don't see it. And you took your one bruise already. So while you're looking that up,
Yeah.
we'll just jump to the
Yeah,
next
just
one.
keep going.
So
See if I can
Octoman
find
is
it.
done, and that brings us to Jordan.
Mark.
All right, Mark. So you turned, you pivoted yourself to try to catch. Was that a finger for hold on? Oh,
That's what it looked
Okay,
like.
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
you turned and pivoted yourself to catch the baby, and then as you're looking at it, you could see right through the baby, and you could see right through the woman who's right in front of you, reaching up for the baby.
Fucking
And,
illusion. God damn it. All right. I'm going to raise a telekinetic force field just in case
Crap.
something shitty happens, and I can only do one thing as an attack, right?
Grab his page 2.
Yeah.
Okay. That's my attack then. I'm done.
I don't have a 248. Different book.
God damn it.
All right, so you're erecting a force field over you, or
Yeah.
How's that work? It's a protective field over you, and what size is it? It just over you, or is it like a big bubble?
You surround your body with a protective field of energy or force, providing you with a toughness increase equal to your rank. So basically, it doubles my toughness.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
As a sustained effect, your force field is noticeable unless you apply a subtle modifier, which I don't have. So it's
Right.
basically it's like you know, like black crackling light all around me.
Nice. right.
Of course, and it's set to impervious, so it's immune to certain lower thresholds of damage.
Okay. Do you wanna move?
Or at least I don't know. See, I don't know if that counts as an attack. I mean, I don't know if that it says powers, so I don't know if it's
That's
an
an
attack
action.
or if it's a
It's an action. You
an action.
you activated your power. That's your action.
okay. So yeah, there's
So
no
you
point in moving. I'll stay where I'm at because anything I'm going to do from range. So
Okay.
So grab is an attack. The defense is resistance check is against strength or the rank of the grabbing effect, using either strength or dodge. And then based on the degree of success, it determines how restrained you are, the person that you grab.
Yeah.
You can attempt to improve an existing hold with another grab action on the following turn. Resulting degrees of success are cumulative, but if you lose, the target escapes. You are hindered and vulnerable while grabbing and holding an opponent.
Hindered and vulnerable.
You
okay.
can maintain a successful grab as a free action each turn, but cannot perform other actions requiring the use of your grabbing limbs while doing so. Since maintaining a grab is a free action, you can take a standard action to inflict your strength damage to a grab target on subsequent turns after the grab is established. So if you win with 1 degree of success, the target's immobile and vulnerable. 2 degrees of success leaves them bound, which is defenseless, immobile, and impaired.
Okay.
So I believe that he got
One level.
1 degree of success on me.
Yep.
So I am restrained, which is immobile and vulnerable.
Okay.
And there's a separate checkbox for that in your lab.
All right. So you get your dark force field up just in time as a nice 4 to 6 inch diameter laser beam comes from up and to the right from where you are. It will strike at you. You will see that there is an individual on top of the building that's doing the 2 hands together thing, hitting you with a big green beam, or at least trying to. Not likely with that roll though. So that is a 15 against your dodge. Yeah.
wait, against my dodge or against my toughness?
It's a 15 against your dodge. He's got to hit you first.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
So your dodge plus 10 is higher than 15.
No, my dodge is 8. So what do you say? Dodge plus 10.
Dodge plus 10 is 18. So
Dodge
he
plus 10 is
doesn't-
18.
Yeah, he doesn't even hit you. He doesn't
Okay,
even
cool.
get the toughness equation because he missed.
Yeah,
The laser
okay.
beam missed. All right.
Reaction, I laugh at him.
Snarkily.
All right. Lord Etheric says, "Come, Death Magnetic, let us be away and let these fools deal with the lessers." And he will just fucking fly, skyrocket, up into the air.
Middle finger to that guy.
Afternoon delight.
All right. So that is the top of the order. I think we'll hold right there. We're a little over. We're a little over, but we will pick up.
Well,
right
it'll
there.
go a lot faster next time. We're still learning things.
Oh,
There's
sure.
Stumble,
For
stumble
sure.
this,
Stumble,
stumble basic over everything. And, after
I think we did
maybe
pretty
after
well
maybe
for
after
first
the
round.
next session, we'll be able to run through what we just did in about a fifth the time. That's
Yeah.
my guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Clearly the fight is starting to wind down. You have made 2 of the villains flee battle already, with a third being ordered, and that'll I see maybe one more round of this fight, and we'll be wrapping up. So next session we'll wrap Silver Storm, and then probably start into part 1.
Nice. That was fun.
Excellent.
I'm enjoying.
What do you
this.
mean? I thought that was part 1.
No, that was the prologue.
The prologue.
Yeah.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
are
We'll get to
prologue.
part 1 after that.
All right.
All
Which
right,
is the difference
guys.
in the prolapse.
Yes.
Wave goodbye. I'm going to disconnect us. Everybody wave goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.
Wherever the camera is, bye.